to order at 6:02. We'll let the record show that five of the Board of Finance members are here. Chairman Aaron will be here in the next 5 minutes, but I thought in the spirit of time, we'll get through a few things. The first is approval of the minutes from 4/17, which was yesterday. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second? Is there any discussion? I had one item underneath where it said page 3, where it says discussion of level funding of the 5 fire departments. The vote failed 3 yeses, 3 nos, but among the 6 of us, there's 4 yeses and 2 nos. We either need to go back to the recording, or if somebody remembers how they voted.
I voted no, and that's correct.
I voted no.
I thought you did. And it says yes. I have Larry voted no. It says you voted, Rob, you voted yes. David says you voted yes. This should tell you what it is.
I was a
This
no.
is- This is to reduce
Okay,
the
that's
funding
what
to
you did.
79,000. It was the fire department's. It was a motion to reduce the funding to 79.
So that's what I was, I'm the correction. I was a no.
Okay, so we'll go with that. Okay. So outside of the that one correction, is there any other discussion about the minutes?
So this is the minutes that are just the motions and seconds.
That's correct. And the
So we
discussion
haven't voted
started.
this?
We haven't voted yet. I asked for one change. There was the vote on the fire departments.
Yeah.
It failed to the duty.
Right.
But it said, but if you looked at our individual names, it was 4 yeses and 2 nos. Rob's was.
I was a no.
He was a no, but it was recorded as a yes.
Okay.
He has that change. That's
Yeah,
part of the motion.
personally, it's been a busy week and I haven't even looked at. the minutes.
looked at
I've been doing
That was the only thing I saw. Anybody else had anything?
We just. I'm just worried
Third
about-
page. Is this correct? On the third page, do you have it?
Yeah, I gave it back. It's the 3rd page. If you look at the motion,
Well, I'm looking at the title.
Sorry, I caught it later. Fix that up.
You got
the
it.
dates wrong.
March 10th, 2022.
That's a problem.
Typo.
I'm just. I'm just.
Just a
personally-
year off.
Well, I'm just personally,
It should be corrected.
right, it's just my own concern is that I haven't even, these, we've had met until at 10 o'clock last night, these things came up today. I'm
Would
just
you
worried
like to
about,
postpone it?
well, I'm worried about voting on minutes that may have been kind of cranked out quickly. And some, I don't know, some of us may have got a chance to go through them with a fine tooth comb. But maybe some of us have not.
I went through-
But there's a motion on the table,
That's right.
so I want to be careful of that. You got to take, you got to look at them closely?
I did, yeah.
I
I
did.
didn't look at the title. Dave did. But I looked at the content.
No, I did, I read it.
Okay.
You looked at
Okay.
them
If we're in
closely?
discussion mode,
Yeah.
I mean, since Aaron is requesting additional time, I'd be willing to withdraw the motion until our next meeting. If you would withdraw the second, would you like to do that? Okay. I'll do the same.
Have you not gotten a chance to look at the? minutes?
I have not. Nothing last night.
I mean,
I don't think it's material. It's not material to what we got to do today.
Okay, I just in case there's anything.
Yep.
Because once it goes down on paper, if it's motions and seconds and votes. It's discussion is one thing, but
Yep.
votes, that's forever. So I just.
Okay.
You were no.
No, I think
You were no.
the motion and the second was withdrawn. I don't
That's
think
it.
it's material to our next discussion. So it is on the agenda. So
It is.
3 yes, 3 no. That's one.
Did we get to the citizens' comments? yet?
no,
We're
this
about
is
to-
as far, we're right in the
Correspondence.
and I'll hand it over
Oh,
to our chairman.
thanks.
There we go.
So correspondence, I know that, let's see. Let me try to find it. We received It was the submission. Well, we did, yep, we received, here we go. So we received something from Tricia Tubert, and I forwarded it around to everybody.
Yes.
Yep, see that.
And we also received something from the town plan.
That's correct.
Anything else, correspondence that's come in the last 24
I
hours?
remember.
Okay. So we'll move on to citizens' comments. So we'll do the usual 3 minutes. Like we're usually doing, if you've gone, that's it, you got your total 3 minutes. If you have additional thoughts, you can, as you can see, you can email them to us. We will get them. I will disperse them around, we will read them. So that being said, is there any citizen who has a comment at this time?
I have one to be read for somebody else.
Totally fine.
Okay.
Did you state the name and the address of the person?
Yeah.
who-
Not for you, you have your own. Cheryl Kordiak, 166 Thompson Hill Road. I have come to all the budget meetings, I've showed up and I've listened. I've heard the majority of citizens that speak out in support of spending more money to improve our town and our school. I've listened to some of you completely disregard what the citizens of Thompson are telling you. You look at everything that we have shown you over the last year and a half, you'll be able to see where the town stands. We showed up last year and voted the budget through. We showed up again and voted for a new track, security upgrades, and HVAC. We filled out a survey that told you that this is what we wanted. The school budget should be intact and presented to the town so that the town can show you again what they want. I grew up in Thompson and I went to Thompson Public School. My kids now go to school with many of my classmates' children. I had a conversation with one of my friends who I grew up with, who now lives in town and sends her children to Thompson. She expressed to me, after hearing the way the budget was discussed last night by the Board of Finance, that she was grateful that her daughter was done with middle school in a year and she could pick a different school for her to go to. She said it broke her heart, but they are not given the same advantages and the same opportunities in Thompson that they are given in other districts. I've heard many people talk about low enrollment, but this is the direct cause of low enrollment. It's underfunding. It's underfunding the school. It's undervaluing our students. It seems to me, after listening to all of these comments, after speaking with people in the community, after looking over the survey, that the board that sits here tonight does not adequately represent the people of Thompson. It is time that we recognize that in our board member elections. What is fair is that we don't compromise on the education for the children of our town.
Thank you. Any other citizens? comments?
Mr. Chair, from our town planner, she had mentioned in her letter that she would appreciate it if the correspondence could be shared because she could not be here this evening. And that's why she wrote the letter to the board members.
Yes, and I did forward it to the members of the board today.
But she asked if
Did
it
she
could
want you
be
to
shared
read it into
during
the
the
record?
comment. She asked if it could be shared during the comment.
So she wants you to read it into the record?
If I could, please.
That's totally fine. So I'll get the 3-minute timer. I'm not sure how long it will take.
I don't think it'll be too long.
Okay,
So this is from Tara Pengesic, our Director of Planning and Development for the town of Thompson. Clearly Monday. I know, but. Sorry. Okay, I start again. Clearly, Monday night's meeting ended in a stalemate between two opposing philosophies regarding how to send the budget forward to the direct democracy of the taxpayers. In summary, half the board is acting based on the historical patterns of the community that has been unwilling to pay the cost of its needs. It is undeniably true that there were several years where multiple referenda were called, each requiring round after round of cuts. To that end, these members are attempting to cut education funding to a level which they intuit will be palatable to the voting public. Half the board is responding to direct input from the public, which indicates strong support for spending to cover identified needs in education, public works, and other areas where Thompson has suffered years of disinvestment. Although these members have shown some willingness to compromise with their colleagues and make some additional cuts, they have nonetheless been unwilling to make deep arbitrary cuts for cuts' sake to the remaining education budget. The members of the board are acting in good faith according to their own interpretations of their duty to represent the town's interests. I would suggest that in this budget season, the latter position is both more logical and more in keeping with the current majority sentiment of Thompson taxpayers. The board has already gone through the entire proposed budget, identified specific line items where they believe savings can be found, and made those reductions. If the board cannot identify further specific items of waste, then how can further cuts for the sole sake of hitting a certain level of increase be justified? Board members Herbert and Wurge have repeatedly referenced the general tenor of the public comments, the results of the recent referenda related to school spending, and the results of the recent public survey. Mr. Wurge has even stated that he has adjusted his own position based on this information. While in years past, I would concede that public sentiment has generally reflected an anti-spending position, we now have actual data showing clear support for public spending commensurate with the town's demonstrated needs. To ignore the data because of past experiences is to choose Thompson's past over its present and future. These budgets are tricky things, and I do not envy the board of envy the members of the board as they navigate this process. But having reached this stalemate, I would pose these questions to each of you. Given the tenor of the public comments, the results of recent referenda and survey data, can your current choices objectively be said to align with the will of the taxpayers whom you represent? Are you second guessing the will of the taxpayers solely to try to avoid multiple referenda? Would you choose Thompson to relocate your home or business right now if you were seeing it with outside eyes? Would you feel comfortable if you had children in the Thompson public school system? Are you optimistic or pessimistic about the future of your community? Is it worth revitalizing the town, or should we accept the decline in return for lower taxes? Passing the budget along to the public as currently constituted will involve a certain level of risk that it may fail at the hands of the taxpayers, but given the information we have about the public sentiment this year, it seems to me that there is more to be gained than lost in taking that risk. Sorry, it went over a little bit.
Thank you. Any other citizens' comments? Go ahead, for the record, could you please state your name and address?
Somebody's coming on, hold on.
So make sure when you state your name and address, you state it clearly enough so that the secretary can hear you.
My name is Peyton Bolte. I'm currently living at 1081 Riverside Drive. I'm currently a sixth grader at TMS. I'm here today to speak to you about cuts that affect our town. Education is an important piece. The cut made last night will affect class size. This will affect how we learn. Also, with past cuts, we lost various activities and classes. This has to stop. Cutting the budget keeps us from becoming properly prepared young adults.
Oh, thank you.
Good job.
Well done. Well done. Any other citizens' comments? Okay, she's got. So, can we please this person? I don't understand.
I have-
No, okay,
Oops.
we'll get to that person in a moment. So when you state your name and address, make sure you state it clearly enough that she can hear you, okay? Because she has to write your name, just to write down your name and address. You know your address? Okay, maybe your mom can tell you, okay, but you know your name, right? So you state your name and then you'll get some help with your address and you can say what you want to say, okay? You ready? Okay, go for it.
My name is Olivia. Krasinski.
CHRZANOWSKI.
49 Mountaineer Worlds.
Okay, what do you want to say?
I love the teacher at the school, because they're so nice. I want to keep them at the same school. And the same teachers.
Good job, Libby.
Great job.
Any other citizens' comments? Okay, so make sure when you state your name and address, you state it clearly that she can hear you, okay? Go ahead.
My name is Annabelle Krasinski. I live at 49 Mountain Hill Road. My teacher says that whoever is smart can be left alone to do their work all by themselves. Even if it is hard, she thinks that the smart kids can work it out on their own. So if they add more kids to the class, it will be harder for my teacher and me. And if I had less kids in my classroom, I would be able to work with a bit more help from my teacher.
Excellent. Any other citizens comments? Any other citizens comments? No. So, state record, you see your hand.
Sean Brissett, Old Davis Road. I've been coming almost every one of these for over a decade, and it's Groundhog Day every single year. It really is. We plan on giving our daughter land to build a house. She'll be at least the 5th generation. We're working on a family district. At least the 5th generation of our family to live in town. And I am honestly second guessing if it's the right move for her. And I hate that because I love this town. But I'm watching, I want to say 6 people because the board is a group, but really 4 people decide to let the town continue on the road of decay. And that's what you're doing. And I know, Aaron, you and I personally, we've had a good relationship through the years. I respect you. I hope you respect me. But this year it has been an oddity, I'll admit, but an overwhelming support to send this budget forward. And you always give your, I represent the people's. The people have spoken this year, and it's not being listened to. You've got a group in town that talks about disenfranchised voters. We've got 6 people telling an entire town how much we can spend. What is everybody so afraid of? Why is this board and that group of people so afraid to let the citizens of Thompson vote? And I'm never hearing an answer. You just get into your meeting, and I wasn't able to watch yesterday, but when I heard we were talking about possibly close to $1 million cut to the school budget, and that came out of a board member's mouth. That's despicable. That is not doing what you were elected to do, which is manage the money that the people in this town approve you to spend. And it has been overwhelming in the last year, surprising to me. I was stunned that all 3 referendum questions got passed. I have been overwhelmed by the amount of people that have spoken in support of moving this budget forward. I can't understand what this board and this negative group is afraid of. Let the people decide what we want to spend, and then you guys manage it. If you're gonna represent the people, then you need to listen to the people that have spoke at these meetings. That's it.
Thank you. Any other citizen comment? Somebody, go ahead for the record.
Kathleen Herbert, 122 Wilsonville Road. I'll be target on Nicholas. All right. When I first spoke in an earlier meeting, I brought up what the state says as the responsibilities of the Board of Finance. And the Board of Finance, number 1 responsibility is to be prepare a fiscally responsible budget. Fiscally responsible budget doesn't mean cut. A fiscally responsible budget means to take into account what the town needs, the needs of this town. And you have not done that. I have a chart here that I look back through to 2020, and never have you increased. It was back in 2016, you actually increased the mill by 1.93. Miracle. And after that, the next year, 1.26. But after that, in 2021, 0.26, 2022, 0.72. The year that you had, we couldn't vote, 2020, because of the pandemic, nothing, no increase to the mill rate at all. Aaron, you sit up a mile high and look at everything, and your goal was to increase the mill little by little, so we finally got there. That didn't happen. Last year, the increase in the mill was 0.07. Where,
and the inflation was 6.4. The year before, 6.5. You've never increased the mill to even come close. And I'm talking for all the town, not just the school, but the whole town debt level, everything, capital. We've never come close to increasing the mill to come close to inflation. How are we going to run a town? Our fuel at the school, the fuel at the town, the salaries, everything increases also. The school has food costs, the school has fuel, the school and the town has fuel. They have salaries. How are you gonna run a town? And a school, when you don't need inflation costs? That's all I have to say.
Any other citizen comments? Go ahead. Phil.
Nicola Kuznowski, 49 Mountain Hill Road. So again, thank you. This is not easy. And I apologize that our entire town comes here and tells you guys what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong. I struggled last night. My daughter was here until 10:30, listening to everything you said. And what she said last night, and I had her leave, so you can hear it from me, is her friend put mashed potatoes in his pocket to bring them home so his mom could eat. And she asked me last night, if they cut that much money, does my friend not eat? That's what our kids are dealing with. And I'm sorry that I'm emotional about it, but it is unfair to these kids to be 6 years old, worried about whether or not their friend's mom's gonna eat because he couldn't put his mashed potatoes in his pocket. That's what you're cutting. Melinda's done everything she could to cut everything. You asked every board to come to you with a budget that met their needs. They came with that. I sat in the DOE meetings and there was a conversation on whether or not to add to in some of these line items in knowing that they get cut every year. And the integrity of that board was to absolutely not do that because they had faith that this board was going to listen to the people in the survey and to the citizens' comments week after week. But now I honestly wish Melinda didn't have integrity and that she had put inflation into that budget, because then we'd all be sitting here fine with your decision because you took out the percentage that got us to what we needed. And that is not how a business should run. I deal with $32 million projects at where I work. 1% of that is a huge chunk of change. But the mill rate increase, our town pulls together when there's needs for people. So if someone can't make their payments, you know what? Come find some of us. We'll rally like we have for the playground. We'll help that family pay the difference in their mill rate. But don't worry about the 10% that's not showing up here speaking. Worry about the 90% of us that are here telling you what our kids need, what our town needs, and what our survey says we need. That's what you should be listening to. So I appreciate what you do. I understand the struggle, but the town should get the right to know that the mill rate should go up by 3 or 3.1 so that we can then go back to 0.5s. But we have to take a chunk. We have to get ourselves to where we need to be, or we're not going to have a town for these kids to go to, or we're not going to have people that want to stay in this town. Just like Don said, my family has, it's not mine, my husband's family. They are the only three, they're the third family to own a house from the 1860s. I grew up in New York City, never thought I'd live in a property like that. I ask my husband every day why I'm giving up promotions at work to stay in this town, when this is when I come in here, and this is the future for my children, is friends putting mashed potatoes in their pockets.
Thank you. Any other citizen comments? Go ahead, name and address, please.
Danielle Carlson, 3 Rachel Drive, North Riverdale. I'm asking that the school budget be sent forward as is. And I'm also asking that the recommendations of Select Board and St. Ange from last night's meeting be added back into the budget. As Board of Finance members, you represent over 9,000 citizens in our community. Citizens that have voted you in to represent them and the greater good of our community. The greater good isn't going to come from reducing vital funding to our town and school system. It's going to come from listening to those voices that have created these budgets that are represented in front of you, from those that sent emails in support from those that have completed the townwide survey, from those who have attended these meetings and have spoken at every single citizen's conference. These are the people that you represent, and we are the majority. We deserve to be heard, listened to, and represented adequately. I am not sure how anyone can sleep at night knowing that their decisions to make blind reductions will have a negative effect and direct impact on many children and their educational experience. These reductions will also carry the potential of loss of employment to those who live and work in our community. How is that the right direction to be going in? There is talk by members about how do we safeguard the elderly from a tax increase? How do we safeguard the employee that has lost their job or the student who has lost their education services? How does one feel okay with that situation? In fact, most elderly people I have spoken to in our town are supportive of the school and the town. They know that this is their future and they support that. Someone once paid extra in taxes for them to drive on new roads and for their kids to go to school. This isn't a power wand you yield, but yet it certainly feels this way. Please listen to the people of this town, listen to those who built these budgets and have represented them to you. Any less of that, you are doing a major disservice to us and to our town and our townspeople that voted you in, like me.
Thank you. Any other citizens? Go ahead.
Jessica Bolte, 1081 Riverside Drive. The tide is changing in town. You've heard that this year. This is different. This year's been different. It's been different the last 2-3 years. And it's time to catch up. There is absolutely no excuse to not be listening to what your townspeople are telling you. The children that made their comments here tonight, yep, I get it. They're not eligible voters. Probably not. Maybe you won't listen to their comments, maybe you will. But the fact of the matter is that's the next generation that's coming up here. They're the generation of not me, they're the generation of we. And you heard that with Nicola's comment. And those are the kids that we need to make sure that we're giving them every opportunity to get what they need. Whether that's new roads, a transfer station that's not falling apart, a loader, because let's just cut that out of the budget, that their parents don't have to pay 10 years for a dump truck because now we're purchasing to lease it, or they'll have a school building that's not falling apart around them. It's time to move forward. We can't continue taking 2 steps back. It's time to move forward. Is it gonna hurt? Yup. But we're past due. Thank you.
Citizens comments? Could you please see your name and address for the record?
I'm Jalen Armstrong, 3 Rachel Drive. Hi. I know you guys are working hard and I appreciate it first and foremost. Second of all, I grew up in Thompson. I graduated in 2019, not that long ago. I'm graduating from Worcester State University in 2 weeks. And I attribute a lot of my success to my preparation in school. And I think that you guys need to realize the success that this town is producing. My boyfriend's getting his master's in public administration and his bachelor's in fire science in 2 weeks as well. And I couldn't do that with a cut budget. Those years that we increased it were the years that I went to school. My teachers, a couple of them are right here, and I attribute everything to them. And I think that you really need to take into account that I'm in public health, and low socioeconomic status comes with low education. If you're not giving the people quality education, then you're just going to produce people that aren't able to properly provide for themselves. You're going to create a low socioeconomic status town, and that's not what any of us are going for. I want to see this town prosper and I want to stay in it for the rest of my life, but I can't even work for the Thompson public school system because I'm trying to get my foot in the door and it's $15 an hour and I can't do that. I'm worth more than that. But yeah, I just think about it a little more.
Thank you. Any other citizens comments here in the room? Ed, you see your name and address for the record?
Sally White, 308 East Thompson Road. A few points of reason. Overarching all of this are matters of policy and strategic thinking and looking at what is driving all of this, which is an influx of people who have various levels of dysfunction and poverty. And increasing money isn't going to curb the influx nor alter many of the dysfunctions. That has to come from innovation, volunteerism, and good allocation and management. And heaven forbid, if the suggestion that the tide is changing, if the tide continues to change in this manner, this town will be totally divided and will go under. There has to be reasoned thinking. Let's go back to the vote that was taken. The HVAC passed by 80 votes. It wasn't a landslide. The track passed by 9 votes. That certainly wasn't a landslide. The security passed by 107 votes. Yet we're talking about, look at the votes, look at all the people that voted. But it really wasn't that much. And people don't necessarily come out for that type of referendum, but they will come out for the budget. The survey, whoever wrote it, didn't dare design it so that it would allow a range of suggestions and opinions. It was very narrowly written so that many people couldn't even enter any information into it. It was too narrow. So there was not a broad section of demographics or beliefs in how the direction they want the town to go. Regarding the comments on Social Security, the people who have paid into the system, that is their money. They are not serfs to the town. Their income, their savings is not anyone's money but their own. Yes, we are obliged to pay reasonable taxes. We want the confidence that they are used well. I think it's dismaying to see that there are parents and perhaps some people within the school that are creating an atmosphere of fear for the children. That is shameful and very disturbing. None of these children should have to be living in that because it's false and it's being created as a political wedge. And that is a pity. I'm really disappointed to see that. Children need to learn that they can thrive. They can thrive without fear. Parents are to protect and shield their children and not create fear. And they need to learn that all will be well. This is unnecessary fear mongering, and they're trying to intimidate various members of the board who are acting very responsibly. Thank you.
Thank you. So just a reminder, when somebody's giving citizens comments, they have the floor, they have the floor. Everyone gets a chance to share their comments, whatever they want to say. But everyone deserves to be able to share them without being distracted by anybody else. Any other citizen have a comment? Any other citizen have a comment? Here in the room. Is there anybody on Zoom who wants to share?
We had Cindy initially who was trying to speak. So I think we could go with Cindy first
And
and then Trudeau and then Ms. Clark.
Cindy, could you do us a favor and share your name and address, please?
Yeah, sorry, I'm at the baseball field right now. My name is Cynthia Vasquez. I live at 79 Hagstrom Road in North Bromerdale. I'm a resident and a business owner. I'm emotional, sorry. I have 3 children in the elementary school, and 2 have an IEP, 1 has a 504. Without the extra help these children get, they would be lost and struggling more than they do every day at school. One of my children has come so far within just a year of school with the extra help with reading, phonics, ESL. Now, I'm proud to say that she is one of the best students in her grade. Without the help she needs, she would have just been another child that the system has failed. I'm a foster parent, and there are many others out there too. Many children we take care of have many issues due to trauma, neglect, etc., and don't get help they need and are legally eligible for. We need our school system to keep the extra support for many of our children so they don't get lost behind. Unfortunately, in today's world, school is a very stressful place for our children. With school shootings, mandatory testing, bullying, etc., it causes anxiety. Now imagine having a learning issue on top of all of that and not getting the special help they need. As a parent, as a public school servant, and a resident, I see many children, foster or not, that have learning disabilities. ADD, ADHD, autism, behavioral issues, it goes on and on and on. It's not like when we were younger and went to school. Please listen to your residents, your taxpayers. We need our support system for the children. We cannot afford to lose any more children. Please do not cut the budget. Thank you.
Thank you. So we've got other
And
people.
then
in the-
Mr. Trudeau was next, and Ms. Clark, then Mr. and Mrs. Warner.
Mr. Trudeau, could you please state your name and address for us? He's muted at the moment. Can you unmute him?
I can't, I can ask him to unmute.
Mr. Trudeau, can you unmute yourself?
I'm all set.
Okay.
Good evening. Dick Trudeau, 192 Wager Road, Thompson. Congratulations to the Board of Education Board of Finance for their efforts for the town of Thompson. My comment is, seeing as I have seen or heard not seen or heard many comments from the senior citizens, I must speak up and say that town polling of citizens may not be the ultimate measure of the perceptions of senior citizens. I submit that most senior citizens prefer that the town budget be based on the practicality of the proposed budget, namely, be reasonable and practicable, and stop reaching for the stars when the moon is feasible. Thank you.
Thank you.
And Ms. Clark?
And Valerie, could you please state your name and address?
Valerie Clark, 105 Elm Road. And I want to say that I appreciate what Ms. White brought up about the survey. I attempted to take the survey, but I could not conscionably fill it out because the answers that were provided did not apply, or the questions were not worded in a way that an appropriate, truthful answer could be given. In addition, I planned to, and I wrote in the chat last night, the suggestion that when this budget goes to referendum in whatever form it goes, if there could also be included, which we've done in the past on referendums on budgets, questions about why someone may have voted the way they did. Do they think that the education budget is too high or too low? Do they think that the town budget is too high or too low? And so I would like to see that included in the budget referendum. I don't know if that's within the Board of Finance's purview or if that's a Board of Selectmen item, but I wanted to make that suggestion in this meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. And then, is there another person?
Mr. and Mrs. Bill and Beverly Warner.
Okay, could you please state your name and address prior to giving your comments?
Bill Warner, Lowell Davis Road. I'd like to bring up 2 points. The first point is the growth in the budget. We've been told that we've been keeping the mill rate low, but if you look at the growth in the grand list, you've been able to do that because of growth. In 2019, 2020, the budget increased 433,000. 2021, it went up to 533,000. 21 to 22 went up 513,000. And then last year, even though the mill rate only went up by 0.07, spending in town went up by $1.181 million. And right now we're asking for $2.160 million. And last night, the superintendent mentioned that poverty levels in town have been raised over her period here from 30% to 43%. And a lot of that has to do with our elderly population, which can't even fill out the forms on the website. And I think was said best by Jesus that we have to take care of the least of these. And the least of these are the people, that 30 to 43% that can't afford $500 more in taxes in town. And we should try to keep it to a reasonable number. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other citizens' comments on the Zoom that you can see?
No.
No?
Oh, wait, nope, we have one.
Okay.
Amber.
This is Amber. Could you state your name and address prior to giving comments, Amber? She's muted.
Yeah.
Yes, Amber Comtoy, Sunset Hill Road, Thompson. I'm not going to talk numbers because that's not my thing, but I will talk that I'm in the school every day and I work with those kids, elementary, middle, and high. It's hard to say that which one suffers more than the other because they equally all do. And it seems like we're trying to ask you to take a gamble with passing the budget. And if that's how you want to see it, yes, we are asking you to take a gamble. Give us a shot and we can show you what is possible. It's hard to support the children when we don't even have the materials to support them, let alone education. A lot of the children have distanced themselves, put on shows, gotten the attention the wrong way because that's all they know. They're not taught how to be humans, be supportive of each other, work as a team, that doing your schoolwork doesn't mean you're a nerd, a geek. It means you're going to get somewhere in life. I have a junior and a fourth grader. I see it from both of them. They're friends. Some children have supportive families at home, but I'll tell you, most don't. I see it every day. They just want someone to talk to. But the children need to trust you to talk to you. And if you're not supporting them, they're not going to trust you. And we're going to have the cycle over and over of children with behavior problems, children who don't speak up, children who are afraid, children who go home and live in, sorry to say, but hell. How are we going to reach these children? Money out of our pockets, the resources we have, we share at the schools, but it's not fair. We want children who are going to take care of us later. We want children who are going to support each other when the adults can't connect with them. I ask you again to take the gamble. If we fail, we'll apologize, but I guarantee you we won't fail.
Thank you. Any other citizens' comments here in the room? Could you please state your name and address?
Linda Charlton, 9 Pelham Lane. So to say education is the best way to get out of generational poverty. So if you're concerned with the poverty in the town, there's something that we can do about it, and that is provide the best education that we can afford. And that's our responsibility as adults, as taxpayers in this town. We may not like it, we may not want it, it may be giving up something, a little something, but it's our responsibility, like it or not. And I also don't think that a Board of Finance meeting is a place to be giving out parenting tips to other individuals. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh,
You're
and
still
one more
going.
thing.
Yeah, you still got 3 minutes. Well,
The
3 minutes.
questionnaire that I filled out online said, do you agree with raising spending for the school budget? And then if I recall correctly, it was 1 to 5. Yes, you hit 1, no, you hit 5. I don't know how difficult that is to fill out. It's not, unless I'm remembering vastly different than what it was.
Okay, well said, you still got 2 minutes.
I know, I'm not.
Okay. Citizens, could you please state your name and address?
Yes, Marcy Sine, 1 Brickyard Road. I don't have anything formally prepared tonight. I didn't even realize this meeting was on the schedule, but thanks to some good friends, I became aware and I'm here, and I've been in and out because of getting one from T-Ball, one from dance, and I guess, you know, I have a kindergartner and a 2nd grader in school. This is my first year really involving myself on behalf of my family with our town politics. And wow, it has been informative, educational, and lately it's been pretty disappointing. you know, as many have said at this meeting and other meetings I've been to, you know, the overwhelming majority of the constituents in this town are asking the six of you to please put forward these budgets to vote so that we can, you know, exercise our civic duty and use the voice that we have actively to move this town forward. I take my responsibility and my duty as a taxpayer here in town very seriously. My children are involved in sports in town. They are involved in extracurricular activities in school. I make myself available to be here. I have volunteered at the school. I'm on the PTO. We are attempting to move forward with standing up a playground for not only elementary school students, but middle school students, to give these kids safe places to play and learn and grow. And where better to do that than at school? So let's, you know, and gentlemen and ladies at the table, thank you for your work and for what you do and for why you're here, you know, the time you put in. As a parent, you know, this job is unending. It is around the clock. And so I'm here to use my time wisely and make the most of it. And hopefully we can band together and do what's best for these little kids. Thank you.
Anyone else, any other citizens? Could you state your name and address, please?
Susan Witkowski, 12 Clarence Drive. Last night, we sat here for a couple of hours and I watched 6 individuals vote again and again and again on a percentage to cut school budget. And each time, gridlock, gridlock, gridlock. That tells me, and I hope it tells you, that maybe this is not your decision to make. Maybe it's not a decision that 6 people should make. It's a decision that the taxpayers should make. It's a decision that the people that pay these taxes, that the reason that we're here, the reason that we live in this town, the people that represent the school, the people that are educated at the school, let them make the choice. It is not our choice. It is not your choice. It's not my choice. It's everyone's choice. That's all I got to say.
Any other citizens' comments?
Because I want to clarify, but you said send it in an email because we can't speak a second time.
That's true. So if you want to send additional comment,
Yeah.
it's, you go to the town website and you go to the Board of Finance section, and there should be a button on it that says contact the Board of Finance. And it comes to Dottie and myself, and whenever I see it come in, I always forward it around all the members. So feel free to please go ahead and send additional comments to us that way. Go ahead for the record, you state your name and address.
Sure, it's Trish Dupai, 80 Paxton Road, North Riverdale. This is my 24th year teaching in Thompson. And it's nice to see so many familiar faces of former students who are now second generations of seeing their children in the school system. And so many other parents that are here tonight of my former students. It is the 24th year that I have been active in the voting process, as well as coming to different Board of Finance and Board of Ed meetings and select meetings. I just want to ask that you stop cutting and let it go to vote. That we have already been bare bones. The high school has suffered enough, the middle school has suffered enough, the elementary has suffered enough. Please let it go forward and let the voters have their say. Thank you.
Any other citizens' comments? Go ahead for the record. You can put your name and address.
Lisa Ray, 388 Aquatic Elm Farm Road. I, like Mrs. Tupai, have lived in this town my entire life. My father was the first resident trooper here in town, and I've been an educator at Thompson Schools for 30 years now. And I can't speak as well as some of the other people, but I just want to reiterate the fact that you really need to let this go out to the town. We have had years and years of people fighting against the school, fighting against the budgets, and we are in a different place. And it's because of the people that are here. And again,
these are people, these are my former students. I now also have the second generation, and it's hard to believe. that. I don't really want to admit that, but it's so. Just, I don't even have words, because I'm also very discouraged by everything that has happened, and it makes it difficult to go to work the next day. But we go in and we see those kids, and we are not putting fear into them. We are loving them, we are caring for them. That comes first, because that's what these kids need. And if you think those kids are kidding about putting mashed potatoes in their pockets, they're not. I have kids who take home the cereal that they get in their breakfast. Again, because their parents don't have food on the table. It's real and it's here, and these kids deserve more than that. And so does everyone else. I've been on Zoom listening for the past few weeks. And we have an animal control officer who works very hard. He came and she worked for my husband and I, Ram disappeared. And to cut someone's salary because she won't write you a report because she's busy doing her job, and almost punishing her for doing a good job and not letting your selectmen take care of that. I just don't understand some of the logic. So please understand that it is time to let the budget go to the townspeople. Let them make the choice, and if cuts need to be made after that, then so be it. But I'd rather see multiple referendums, even though it costs the town money, and let the people decide rather than just 6 individuals. I really do appreciate all your time. I would not want to sit in your positions, and that is very much appreciated, but please just let it go.
Mr. Chair, I would like to just speak. Sure. First, this is Amy St. Ange. I'm going to speak as first selectman. Thank you, Ms. Rice. Thank you, everybody. Oh, pardon.
Name and address, please.
Okay, Amy St. Ange, first selectman, but also living at 139 Riverside Drive.
Thank you. You got 3.
You're welcome. So speaking as first selectman, I too will implore this board to move this budget forward, because you know what? I believe in this budget. And I know it's painful, but for 4+ years, we have been under a mill rate. And it's time that we do the things that have needed to be done for the last 4 years. Every single couple years, we face this with the transfer station. Because we let it go. The average town in the area is $260 a year. We are $120 per year. Because we're so afraid to upset people. Well, what I know in this climate is that the town is ready to move Thompson forward and to revitalize Thompson and to take care of the things that we need to take care of. So I urge the board at this juncture to move it to the voters for a vote. Secondly, I'm going to ask one more time. Please reinstate the salary that the selectmen put in place for the animal control officer. It is not even going to move the dial on the mill rate. It is $6,000, it's less than $6,000 that you took away. I'm asking for the board to consider putting it back 40 hours a week so our animal control officer can do her job and serve the public, not only the people, but the four-legged friends. But she does more than that, because when a citizen calls, she answers. And isn't that what we want from our public servants? Because I think it's what I want. If I'm paying someone to do a job, I want them to do it to their very best ability. And Jan does that time and time again. And the last thing that I want to say is for the parents that brought their children here, their elementary school children that spoke That was amazing. I am so proud of your children who spoke so eloquently. And that is teaching them democracy, and that should not be put down. That is amazing, and I applaud you parents that brought your children here, and please tell them that they did an amazing job and that their first selectman is very proud of them. And I hope they continue doing it all the way to Washington. So thank you. And that's all I have.
Any other citizen? Here in the room? Any other citizens have a comment on the Zoom? Any other citizen? In the room, on the Zoom? Going once? Going twice, just want to make sure. Any other citizen? All right, so again, if anyone has additional thoughts that they want to share with us, they can go to the town's website, they can go to the Board of Finance section. There should be a button that you can click that says contact the Board of Finance. Feel free to send us an email. I get it, Friday gets it. One of us usually tries to beat the other one to send it out to the entire board. So usually within a couple of hours of when it comes in, everybody's got it, and they do read it. We all read it. So please feel free to contact us that way. So that means we're now moving on to budget workshop.
I'm gonna make a motion to restore all but $53,000 to the school budget. I've listened to folks here, folks online, and I've heard both sides of the argument, but I think it's overwhelming. School needs to be restored to the budget it is.
All right, so there's a motion on the table to restore the cuts that were made to the Board of Education budget last night, with the exception of $53,000. That's the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, so motion's been made and seconded. And that's to restore the money that was cut from the Board of Education budget last night, with the exception of $53,000. I don't recall exactly what that number was.
$254,000.
Okay, so 254 would get us to the point of restoration minus 53?
Correct.
Right, so then your motion is to add $254,000 back into the budget. And you're seconding to add $254,000 back into the Board of Ed budget.
Correct.
Okay, any discussion on the motion?
Once again, I've heard our citizens talk. It almost brought me to tears, to be honest with you. The kids deserve it. Oh, yeah, maybe it's a few dollars too much. I don't believe that, but maybe it's a couple dollars too much. Let's err on that side. Let's give the kids what they need. They need it, they deserve it. What still shaking up from your comments. Any other comments I've heard? And again, I heard the other side too. I don't want Texas to go up like everybody has said, but give our kids a shot. I don't mean a shot, no, that way. I mean a shot at life. Wow. The atmosphere is wrong out in the world. What the, give me the total added we got back.
That was
We put
putting
that back.
$254,000 back in?
Correct. Right. What do you come up with that?
Original.
It's just. Listen, we got a lot of numbers here.
So if we were to make that change, we'd be at 28.16. Which is a 3.14 mil increase.
Sorry, Bill, what would that get us to? Or what no increase?
28.16. Oh, I'm sorry.
I was gonna say it's a positive.
Go here.
There we go. Excellent.
Sorry about that.
So that would bring us back to 3.14.
Correct.
Any other discussion on this motion?
And again, just to carry on, I appreciate the motion made yesterday to find a compromise. I really do appreciate that, but it's an arbitrary cut. If there was waste, I'd cut it in a minute. It's not, we're not, if you could say, this is something we shouldn't spend that much money on, or this is wrong, let's not do that program. I certainly want to listen and respond to that. But, and I know you didn't do it because it was an arbitrary thing to do, but it was a way to try to get us moving last night. Yeah, I just can't see us doing that.
Any other discussion? Any other discussion? Floor is open. Any other discussion?
Took us 3 votes to get to 8%. Took us 3 rounds. I heard everything that was said tonight and every other night. And we're looking at a $250,000 delta on a base of over $20 million. I'd like to ask Melinda, and I'm not going to put you on the spot. But I can't foresee that amount like wrecking the world. I get that we want to go with the full and everything we've asked for. I could go through line by line and have discussions around where there's areas where I think, and I'm not the expert to say in all the areas and all the departments, but if we were talking about, 30, 40, 50% of what was asked for, if they needed a 9.5% increase and we were down at 5 or 6 or 6.5, I'd say, yeah, that could hurt. We're at 250,000. I'm not downplaying, I mean, it's still a lot of money, but in the scheme of the whole spending and the size of the budget, it's 250 of over 20 million. It's not 250 of, say, $1 million budget, where it would be dramatic. So I kind of felt like we spent a lot of time putting that to bed last night. And I appreciate the passion for the school, Steve, and I appreciate you wanting to get it back to where it is. I kind of felt like we burned a lot of energy to get it where it was.
Any other? Good discussion.
If I might just respond to that a little bit, it is a relatively small amount. And just as it's a small amount of a large number, it is just a small amount. Why not just add it in? I sort of the same argument, just on the other side of it. Again, I appreciate last night. I mean, I think you were able to get us to a point where we could move something forward. And I voted for it because it was worse than the other alternatives I was hearing. But I sure would like to see that reason. Again, as was mentioned in Tira's letter, your voice was heard about listening to the townspeople. Why not let them choose? They can say no if they think it's wrong.
Any other comments, any other discussion?
I'm gonna agree with what you said. I agree with going back and then letting the town decide what they want to do. If we have to come back, then we have to do it. But I think there's a point. We do the best we can here. We're only 6. So we can, the way I look at it, yeah, I mean, I'm alone. I have to go through the same thing that some of these people do as far as paying for this, that, and the other thing. But I mean, it's not only there, it's the town that we have to go back and do a lot of work there. And if we don't, it's just going to get worse. It's like your car. If you don't fix it, it's going to fall apart. So I'm going to go with going back to the original and then let the people go. It's not something we've never done before. We've done it many times. Then we come back and we know, right? That's it.
Any other discussion? Any other comments? So, Rob was talking about down to 8% and how that compares to an overall request of 21 million plus. And so I did, well, comments were being shared. I just did the math, 254,000 divided by 21,661,000. And that's 1.17%. 1.17%. That's, you know, I think that kind of reduction is not, it's not an existential reduction, going from 9.5% down to 8%. Just wanted to just run the numbers and just kind of see for myself, what does that represent? I don't feel like it's an existential threat. I feel it's the kind of number that would completely derail the operation. That's just my personal. Any other comments? If there's none, we would go around the table. Everybody okay with going around the table? And I can either start on my left or I can start on the.
I'll start. Yes.
Good man. So, you know, Steve, votes yes. So now, how we do it?
Hey, throw this at me.
Good man. Larry, how you doing?
Which way are you going?
Well,
We're gonna go
I
across.
said I was gonna go either left or right, but that would mean I usually start with the guy immediately to me, but Steve was feeling pretty ambitious. He marked it out.
Okay, yes.
So you vote yes?
Yes.
Okay, Rob, man,
No.
Dave,
No.
okay, we know you vote yes. Robert, and I'll vote no. So this one fails 4-2. This one fails 4-2. Go ahead, Dave.
I'd like to move forward the motion that was failed yesterday, and that is to move forward the budget as it stands to the Board of Selectmen for presentation to the town meeting and referendum. Expenses of 30,752,118 with a tax warrant of 21,418,190 and a mill rate of 27.83, an increase of 2.81 mils over the current year.
Okay, so the motion is to move forward to town meeting and referendum. The budget totaling $30,752,118. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, and I realized after the meeting was over last night, I wonder if it was smart for us to put all those other things in there, because just in case the finance director needs to make any adjustments to make the 30 million, see where I'm going, to make the 30,752,118 go. If we make that motion so long and so narrow that it voids the whole thing, because one little thing that you needed to move around in there. I think what we're trying to get at when we make that motion, is we're just trying to say, we want 30,752,118 to go out to town meeting and referendum. As opposed to, and with this kind of tax rate, and with that kind of blah, blah, and with because the more specific you make it, I fear it was after the meeting was over and I was driving home thinking, in a strange way, it's a good thing that motion failed, because it just in case, if you make it so long and so detailed, it could negate the whole thing. So rather than read all those other things that I was going to read last night, it's okay with you guys, I'm just going to stick to 30,752,118. If everybody's okay with that. So you're okay with that motion, Dave? Dave, you okay with?
I'm not following you, no,
We don't have a second on this motion, so really discussing.
Wait, did you just make a motion?
I made a motion as was made last night
Right.
by Rob. I believe, or Steve, and seconded by Rob.
Right. So I just want to make sure.
I repeated that motion.
Okay. So your motion is to send $30,752,118. Send this budget representing that number to town meeting and then out to
referendum.
Okay. So that's your motion. Is there a second to that motion? Okay. So the motion has been made in second to forward the proposed budget as it stands right now, $30,752,118 to town meeting and referendum. Any discussion?
Aaron, I agree with you. No sense adding all those other.
That's what
This, that, and the other thing. I disagree with just that we didn't have a second on the motion.
That's,
Or,
yeah,
you know,
good point. When I drove home, I thought, boy,
No, that's it.
if
I think-
anything in there
It's wrong.
is wrong, then it throws
Inconsistent,
the
then we're in
whole thing
trouble. Right. I agree with you.
So any discussion on this motion?
I'd like to make an amendment to the motion.
Okay.
An amendment, we add $6,800 to the K-9 officer's salary. Is that the right number? Sorry.
I believe it's actually 5,800.
5,800? I apologize for having the number.
$5,860 would reinstate her at 40 hours.
$5,680 to her salary, to the salary of the animal control officer.
So a motion has been made to amend the motion that's already on the table. To add to the animal control officer's salary. $5,800.
$5,680.
$860. $5,860.
Backwards, sorry.
Okay, so that's the motion. Is there a second to that motion? There's a second to that motion. If there's no second to the motion does die. So I'll ask one more time. Is there a second to that motion? Okay, so the motion has been seconded. Now what happens is now we discuss the motion to amend. We step away from discussing the first motion. Now we're discussing the motion to amend. Is there any discussion on this motion to amend?
Yeah, if we amend the motion, the amendment did not include the original motion.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
No, it
But if the
doesn't need
amendment,
to. It's an amendment to the original motion, I believe.
Is it?
That's only the
is it
intent.
Adding to it, is it replacing it?
No,
Is
it's
it-
adding to it. An amendment is an addition to an emotion.
the-
Or
the-
modification to it, yeah.
that's it. The amendment would add $5,860. Yeah, oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, I wanna make sure it's right, too, yeah.
This is the opportunity to make clear about stuff. The amendment would add $5,860 to the original motion that's already on the table. So it would turn it.
It
into
would change. the
30 million,
numbers.
blah, 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 blah,
We
blah,
changed
blah,
the number by
Right.
$5,800.
It would turn it into 30 million, blah, 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 plus 5860.
So it's been seconded, we're in discussion.
We're in discussion about the amendment, the motion to amend. We're no longer discussing
Okay.
the budget, we're discussing the motion to amend. That's it.
So for me, it's like now we're at the end and we're deciding whether we're satisfied or not, and now we're backing up. Thought a vote to not satisfy it would then mean that we would back up. We're gonna go down, and I supported the $5,800. You can go back.
Yep,
I mean,
yep,
I
I
thought
understand.
she's doing the work. I'm disappointed as well with the reporting. I didn't feel like that was the reason to not pay her the hours. And I also was supportive of this happening over a 3-year time horizon. So this isn't like, I'm surprised that again, this year, the AOC salary is going up. I was expecting it because it was laid out over a time horizon. But having said all that, if we're gonna open this up, then if we're gonna open to go back up, then I don't know if I can make an amendment to the amendment, but then I have something else I'd want to address as well. I don't know how to address it now. I don't know how many ancillary amendments you can make to a motion.
Is there an attorney in the house? Don't know.
I would make a motion that we amend the contingency by the same amount. We bring the contingency down $5,800.
So then,
So we're right back to Dave.
Well, that's up to Steve. He's making the amendment.
so then, without having the advantage of looking through the details of this book, here's what I would suggest. What I would suggest is perhaps we take a vote on the motion to amend. And then once that is completed, it takes that off of the original motion.
Right.
Now it's been removed. Now somebody else can throw an amendment on top of that.
Or they could change their amendment.
Or they could change their motion to
No,
amend.
I
Say,
don't change it, but maybe it's worth a discussion, even though it's not exactly on this animal control officer. Do we want the ability to go back and look at things even at this point? And you're suggesting that it's past that. And I
I'm
understand
suggesting that I was satisfied with where we are. I was satisfied last night when I voted yes. I'm suggesting that we're gonna open it up. I'm asking for consideration to pull in your amendment if you care to modify it. Thank you, Rob. That same amount comes out of contingency. We have 75,000. It goes down to 69,200. And then
No,
we're
no,
back where we were.
no, I understand that, but no, I'm not, I don't want to actually address the.
The short answer is no, Steve. The short answer is no, Steve. I don't feel like we need to go all the way.
That's okay.
I think we've got hours and hours into it.
Fair enough.
I'm only addressing or reacting to your,
I understand. Gotcha.
you're opening the box.
I'm opening up the Pandora's box. I got you. What does everybody think? We want to be able to go back at this stage or not?
Absolutely not. I want to end it. That's why I made the motion. And I will vote no with this addition because I think it would encourage other motions or amendments.
So.
You can defeat my motion and then you can go back and do what you want.
But the motion that's being debated right now is the motion to amend. The maker of the motion can amend their motion if they want. To change the motion so that that you can, the maker of the motion can say. Put 50, what was it, 5860 into animal control officer salary and reduce at the same time.
I didn't like that.
I know you didn't. I'm
Yeah.
saying that the motion maker can do that if the motion maker wants to,
understand what you're saying.
right? If the motion maker doesn't want to do that, the motion maker can just leave the original motion that we're discussing to amend alone, and we'll continue to debate until everyone is satisfied that they've shared whatever comments they feel are going to.
Until it's tomorrow morning. And I appreciate that, we've kind of gone through all this. Again, I'm kind of going back to the more basic question. Do we want to open up this to debate again or not? We've heard a mother impassioned plea for the animal control officer. We've heard it from our citizens as well. I don't know if the comments from our citizens shouldn't count today because we made lots of decisions before today. I think it should count. But I also probably appreciate the desire to end the discussion at some point. But I think there's enough feeling that, and we have a second on this. I don't want to change my amendment.
I have one more comment
Okay,
when Steve's done.
I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, no, Steve, you still have the floor, go ahead.
No, please finish.
Okay, Rob, go ahead.
I was trying to provide a pathway to support the amendment. And I don't know if that was fully absorbed, Steve.
Oh.
Now, I'm gonna be extremely clear before we even vote. If the amendment is as it stands, I'm voting no.
Yep.
If the amendment includes pulling it out of contingency, so we're where we were, I'll support it. That was my message without saying
Okay.
it that crystal clear. I'll be that
No, I
crystal
got it.
clear right now.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Any other discussion? So I'll just revisit for a moment in light of what one member of the board just shared with the other five. If the maker of the motion wants to modify their motion to amend, the maker of that motion can do that. And the seconder can do that before we vote. There's still time for the maker, change, and the seconder to agree. There's still time. If the maker does not choose to make changes to that motion, that's fine. It stays right the way it is, the way we've been debating, the way we've been discussing.
I would move the motion of the amendment, please.
Okay, so now, this does layer parliamentary procedure a little bit. This is a motion to move the question, yes? Okay, now that goes on top of the two that are right here. Everybody just keep track, all right? So Dave has just made a motion to move the question. And for those who are unfamiliar, that means that if the motion to move the question passes, that means we stop discussing the motion to amend, right? Okay, so a motion has been made to move the question. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, so Rob Mann has seconded the motion to move the question. So we'll go around the table to find out if we're gonna move the question. If it's okay for me to start on my left, is that okay? Or should I start over here?
I'll let you,
What, start
I'll
over
let
here?
you, I'll let you think that out.
What, you let me start over here?
Doesn't matter, wanna flip?
Okay, so this is a motion to move the question. It's been seconded. How do you vote?
Yes.
Rob?
No.
Okay, Dave?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
Rob?
Yes.
And I'll vote yes. So I believe that passes 5-1. What that means is we have just voted to stop debating the motion to amend. So now I'm gonna go around the table. Are we ready to vote?
No. Vote on what?
Oh, sorry. We're now voting on the motion to amend. Because a motion to move the question is basically, once it succeeds, that's a motion to stop debating the motion that was under consideration. That's why I say, I know this layers it up,
I
but,
got it.
okay.
I
Okay,
screwed that up, by the way.
and in fact,
I did.
I've already violated Robert's rule just by talking, because you're supposed to, as soon as the motion to move the question passes, you're supposed to go bang right into the next one. Okay, so how do you vote on the motion that was presented by Steve that you seconded? And that's to add 5860? How do you vote on that one? Yes?
No.
Dave?
No,
Yeah. No, I'll vote no. So I think that was 42. Okay.
Mhm.
42. So now we're back down to what?
We just, from the notes, it was 2-4, 2 in favor.
Yeah, right, that's right. 2 in favor, 4 against.
Being clear.
Yes, okay. Okay, so now what that does is it just brought it 2 steps back down again.
Right.
Now we're at 30 million. What's the right 30 million? 30,752,118. That's where we are now. So if somebody wanted to make a motion to amend, they can do that now. Because the deck is cleared. Now we're just looking at that original motion.
Yeah, I will make a motion to amend. I wish it was done prior because we went through around and around. I'll make a motion to amend that we add the $5,800 to the line item for the AOC salary. And we remove $5,800 from contingency line item. I don't have the numbers in front of me. I could get.
the number bill is,
We would be removing from line 739 and adding to line 306,
the amount,
5,860.
So you're comfortable with that specifically? Okay, so the motion is $5,860 taken away from contingency and put into the animal control officer's salary.
line.
Yep, the lines of which I don't recall, but the minutes will be recorded, minutes will be reflected accordingly. That's the motion. Is there a second? Is there a second to that motion?
I'll second it.
Okay, so Rob has the motion and Steve has a second. So now again, what that means is we were at step 1 with the $30 million. We've just gone back up another step. Now we're debating the motion to amend. That's where we are. We're debating the motion to amend. So any discussion on this motion to amend? Any discussion? Any comments? Anything? I got a feeling everyone pretty much feels the way they feel. They already know. We already had plenty of discussion just a few moments ago. But I always want to give plenty of opportunity. Is everybody good? Because if it's quiet, we're going to vote. Ready? Okay. I'll start on my left. Larry, how do you vote?
Yes.
Okay.
No.
Okay, no,
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 Yes.
Rob?
Yes.
And I'll vote yes. So this one carries what, 4 to 2?
Mhm.
There's 4 yeses and 2 nos. Trying to get this. Now we're back down to the original, the 30 million, whatever it was, because I know that Bill's doing his job and he's moving numbers around, so that's good. But I think we all,
Back down to Dave's motion and my second.
you got it. We're back down to the 30 million something, which is the budget as it quote, as it stands. As it stands. So that's 30,752,118. Any discussion on this motion? Any discussion on this motion? Any comments on this motion? Anything?
I'm gonna vote yes. I'm disappointed we couldn't fund school properly. But I'm gonna vote yes to move this forward. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm gonna be able to achieve what I would like to achieve, but I understand we are where we are.
Any other discussion? Any other comments? Mike. We're at, is it 2.81? Is that where we are?
Yep. Because of the contingency, it stayed the same.
Yep.
Right, no change.
Just my own Because I feel like we go around a vote like this, is a pretty big vote, so. I feel like I at least, especially as chair, I kind of owe it to the community to let people know. If I vote a certain way, why I am voting a certain way, 2.81, that's a bit of a stretch for me, that's all, that's my. And I know people are disappointed to hear me speak in those terms, I get it, totally understand. That is a stretch for me. Any other discussion?
I'm in the same boat. I look at the demographics of the town. I heard lots of school supporters. I mean, I understand. I'm listening to people. I also speak to people that live alone and are in the opposite side of the spectrum. I just think that a 2.81 mill rate increase is just unfathomable for some people. I mean, especially I understand even the school people and townspeople and everybody. I understand it all. I understand people are in poverty level. They're putting mashed potatoes in their pocket, raising their car taxes or their house taxes aren't going to help them. You know, I know if they live in an apartment, they don't have a house or a car, they're going to get their rent raised one way or the other. Somebody's going to pay. And it's going to hurt. And that's how I see it.
So I just want to remind everyone in the room that if you're not a member of the Board of Finance, if you haven't been recognized, please keep quiet, otherwise it's out of order. Any other Board of Finance member have any comments to share? Just in case they want to, they don't have to.
No, I don't have to. I just, again, I feel like. Even if the voices weren't overwhelmingly in support, let's just, for argument's sake, it's been 50-50. People that want to see a significant increase, people that want to see zero. Even if it was exactly 50-50, this year feels very different. And I hear you, Rob, and you're right, there's people that this is going to be hard for them. And going really low is going to be hard for other people because they're going to see the need not be met. So we're in a really crosshair situation. So even if it was 50-50, which is not, it feels like the voices are far more to fund the town more aggressively. Even if it was 50-50, I would say, let's let the people vote. And if that means we got it wrong and we're back here and we're figuring it out, I'll come back with the same energy I had and we'll sit down and we'll figure it out. I really strongly feel that way because I feel like if we do that and we get it wrong, what does it mean back here? If we go too low and we get it wrong, it means the 6 of us decided for the whole town. Because if they vote yes, you don't know where they really wanted it to be. You just know that they passed it. I don't know if I'm describing that well, but that's kind of how I feel about it. And I'm okay with coming back. I didn't live with a referendum sequencing of it, but I'm willing to come back and do the work to grind in and drill deeper and find another mill or whatever we need to find if it doesn't pass.
Any other discussion?
Mr. Chair, if I may speak as a ex officio member.
Okay.
I think that the public who have been listening in know where you all stand. And it's not harmful to send this to the voters. We know where you stand. And we know what your beliefs are. And before you make your vote, let us know again. But send it to the people is what I just asked.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Go ahead.
I made the motion to move this forward because we're spinning our wheels at this point in time. It's quite evident after last evening that minds are not going to change. And I think we just have to sit here and if it means sending this on, then it means sending this on. I don't approve of it. Never have. I think it's far too much. But I will abide by the vote.
Any other discussion? Everybody ready? With Larry's permission, we'll start on the right.
Just saying that. Yes.
I had a feeling you would. So Rob, how do you vote?
Yes.
Steve? Yes. Dave?
Abstain.
Rob,
No,
Eric,
Yes.
I vote no, this one carries 3-2. This one carries 3-2. This has been approved. It's been approved. Any other business to come before this board?
Been a long process. No, people don't agree with my positions. I don't agree with some of yours, but appreciate working with everybody.
Do you want citizen, are we doing Board of Finance comments or no?
I don't think that's on the agenda. If,
Don't apologize for doing that.
No, no.
are you ready for a motion to
With the
adjourn?
vote, with the 2/3 vote, you can add anything you want. I was gonna say. Likewise, for Steve, I consider you. Having you to be my friend. I enjoy working with you. And I enjoy the fact that we all bring. Our own unique and individual perspectives to this discussion. Because that's the way a democracy is supposed to work. If everybody agrees all the time, that may not be the most healthiest thing for democracy. So it's a good thing when people bring different perspectives and they hash it out. Because sometimes people change their minds when they listen to the arguments that are being shared around the table. But I enjoy working with all of you.
You're leaving? Oh, the way you
So I
said it,
mean,
the way you said
At
it,
least
it's
to go
been
home.
nice working for you. You gonna go now?
I'll go home if you go home.
And thanks to our audience. I mean, I appreciate the citizens' comments. Everybody's got a life to live. Coming here is probably not high on the list.
Make a motion to
appreciate it.
adjourn.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to adjourn. All in favor of adjourning, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? This motion is now, this meeting is adjourned at 7:34 PM. Thank you, everyone.
Anybody that's in the listening audience or here, we are moving into our board of selectmen meeting now. Which will be approving the legal notice to move to referendum, or actually move to town meeting and then the referendum. So feel free to stay.
Bill, do you have a clear one of these?
Okay, good evening, everyone. Hey, Allison,
Yeah,
can you
so-
close that door?
Of course, this door.
Yeah,
Yes,
thank
so
you.
we can see the flag.
Okay, good
Oh.
evening, everyone. Sorry for the delay. Our Board of Selectmen agenda was basically surrounding moving forward to town meeting, which we needed the Board of Finance to wrap up their budget figures so that we could move into tonight's meeting. So thank you for your patience. It is 7:46 PM. I will call the meeting to order. All three selectmen are present, and we will begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, I'll make a motion that we approve the Board of Selectmen meeting minutes from April 4th, 2023.
Second.
Okay, any discussion on those minutes?
I read through them earlier. I did not see anything that didn't look good. Everything looked good to me.
How about you, Ken?
That was good.
That was good as well. All in favor of approving the Board of Selectmen meeting minutes from April 4th, 2023, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. I'll make a motion that we approve the special selectmen meeting minutes from Wednesday, April 12th, 2023. I'm sorry. That's not right. No. Oh, the agenda's wrong. So April 12th. Yes, Wednesday, April 12th, 2023 at 7 PM.
Second,
Okay, any discussion besides the fact that the agenda is wrong?
that is the correct date, right? April 12th.
I don't have my phone with me.
Let's just double check it before we.
Oh.
April
Because we
12th,
had a special.
last
meeting.
Wednesday, yes.
Okay,
Okay,
that was last Wednesday. That feels like a month ago.
I know. I know.
That's why I was questioning it too in my mind, because it feels like it was literally forever.
I did not see anything with this either. It looked good to me.
Yep.
I double checked the numbers.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Ken, are you good with that?
We went over that the other night and I thought we were raising everything by 15. up, I see the senior went from 60 to 70.
Right, and that was.
Was
That
it
was
just
what-
making sure,
yes.
because I know we
No,
were talking
We didn't
15,
raise everything by,
Yeah, okay.
15. We did the senior one.
but that was
went to
one of the
70.
long topics,
Yes.
a discussion that we had.
That we went back and forth, in,
Yes.
but that was definitely the motion.
Then that's not a problem. Just wanted to make sure.
And we went a little higher on the half year
Yes.
in
Yes.
both accounts,
Mhm.
so. All right, so all in favor of approving the special selectmen meeting minutes from Wednesday, April 12th, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, correspondence, we have a Chamber of Commerce business after hours. It's coming up next Tuesday, April 25th, Berkshire Bank in Willimantic from 5 to 7 PM. I don't have any other correspondence. Do either of you have any?
I have nothing.
Okay, all right. And we will move to selectmen comments now, which I honestly didn't prepare a darn thing. I've been so wrapped up in the budget.
After the past couple of days, who's
Yeah.
had time to think about
I
anything?
haven't.
You know what? I think we can all be happy that the budget is ready to go out to referendum and hopefully we can have town support on this
Yes,
and have
absolutely.
it passed.
Well, we were pleasantly surprised when we did the referendum and the 15.2 million passed.
Mhm.
We did hear from the public that night, a couple of times. Why aren't we being proactive and
Yes,
repairing stuff in the town instead of letting it deteriorate?
Yeah.
The budgets that we did put together between the three of us and the school were neat. There was
Needs
no pie in the
fixed.
sky anywhere.
Nowhere.
And this is all of our needs and not having very lean budgets for the last several years, as we all know.
Mhm.
You know, eventually, this is almost a perfect storm that's coming.
Right.
You know, that it's gonna be very expensive to get caught back up
Right?
because we've underfunded so much. And I
Right.
know the rationale that we did back then, but at some point,
It,
you know, we gotta get it to the public and let them vote and say, this is what we need to get back to level. Now it's up to you. What do you want us to do?
right. And I think that's why the Board of Finance might have had such a difficult time because they know there's not a lot of fat in this. There's no fat. There's nothing to be trimmed. But yet it's hard to send it out with a 2.81 mil. So, you know, they made that decision. I'm glad they did. And now it's up to the taxpayers. It's up to the people. It's up to us to get the word out and it's up to people to come out and vote. I'm glad that they did decide to send it out.
No, it's for the referendum. It's for the
Yes,
referendum.
they're working. on it.
The only thing, that I mean, we will go through our normal advertisements, the radio, the word
Sure.
of mouth.
Yeah,
You know, any handouts that we can do to say, hey, you know, it's town meeting night, be there. Referendum is on such a day, we don't sway it one way or the other, just.
well, as a
getting the
personal
people to come.
taxpayer or a person, we
No,
should
I'm
be,
talking
I'm
as a town.
supporting.
Oh, yes.
Supporting that, you know, and I believe that we have done the best job that we could possibly do to put out a responsible budget. And now, you know, we need people to vote, yes, and understand that this is what the town needs. We can't. I don't know where they would trim from.
Right.
If it comes back.
If they do, it's gonna be a lot of pain.
Mhm.
Yes.
Right,
The road that you want done ain't gonna get done.
right.
And
Or next year we'll be forced to try to make up for
again,
the fact that we have nothing left in the
Yeah.
paving budget, if we're talking.
right,
paving.
right.
So,
And
and Rob Wirch had pointed that out in one of the meetings most recently, that
Yeah.
if we deplete it,
We have
we're gonna
nothing.
have to load it tremendously in the next year.
oh, yeah.
Yeah, and just for the paving. The you know, our fiscal year starts July 1st to June 30th. So the misconception is, okay, between July 1st and November 1st, that's when all the paving is gonna. That's only half the season.
Right.
We pick it up again
Early
starting
spring.
April
Yep,
to the end of June.
Right.
yeah.
So
It's just done in split season.
it's split
Yeah.
season based on how the town budget.
Right, right, exactly. I will say I could not be happier that they added back in the increase for the animal control officer.
Mhm.
She's probably one of the lowest paid.
She is.
You know, individuals. She's on call 24/7.
And if you've ever called her or had to work with her, she's amazing and she gets the job done. And she's in court. I don't think we ever realized the issue. Because when we had NECOG, they weren't doing their job to cover this town.
They're doing
You would-
bare minimum.
Right.
Bare minimum,
It
and
was
you
bare
would
minimum.
call and they wouldn't come out. I had personal experiences with them. Now you call, you got somebody on the other end, answering the phone, coming out and dealing with issues, dog barking, dog bites, lost cats, you name it, she does it. She's amazing. So I could not be happier about that. And I don't know, I think everybody knows that's my passion. That and education.
Maybe just a little.
And the library and the roads.
There's a
But
lot.
just the whole time.
How about the whole?
There you go.
All right.
Any other selectmen
discussion.
comments at this time? I'll be more prepared next meeting. Citizen comments, the floor is open for citizen comments. I'm actually going to start with the virtual audience first. Any citizen comments at this time? Please feel free to unmute yourself, state your name and address, and yeah, let your voice be heard. Okay. How
I
about
just have something, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. I don't know who.
I'm cleaning up dinner and I had to run back.
Oh, is that Amber?
Yes,
Okay,
You got Valerie.
Amber,
Yeah.
Sunset Hill Road.
Okay.
I just want, it's more of an opinion. I feel that why are we trying to persuade, bribe, convince, force 6 people to make decisions for all of us? I feel like if all of us matter and all of us can make a decision for ourselves, which mature adults do, that's what we should do, not try to persuade, bribe 6 people. That's what we do with our kids. We want them to clean their room, we bribe them. We don't make 6 people make a decision and then either live with happiness or live in fear of what life's going to be like because we can't do what we feel we should do. That's what we're raising our children to do and what we keep doing. And it's like a smack in the face. So I appreciate the people who do speak up and have spoken up and do understand and vote for it to pass. I just am very frustrated with having to basically walk them across the bridge and hope that, they don't jump off. That's all.
thank you. Ms. Clark, Valerie Clark.
Valerie Clark, 105 Elm Road. I asked at the Board of Finance, and obviously, this may not be the forum for this question, and you may not be able to answer it, but I do think it's a good idea to have additional questions on the referendum about why people voted the way they did. So in the event that it doesn't pass, because there are no guarantees, you know which direction to go and on which budget, so that we're not spending referendum dollar after referendum dollar like we've done in the past. And so what's the process for getting that added to the referendum?
Well, it won't be added as a ballot question necessarily, but we could do some exit polling. We did that a couple years ago. We didn't have enough volunteers to really execute that, but it was a discussion between myself and the planner. And it's just a matter of bringing IT in and getting some volunteers to encourage people to take the survey as they're exiting the polls. People are less inclined to do it if they're left to their own devices, but if they're encouraged by people as they're leaving to take an exit poll, that might be the better manner. And it's certainly something that I agree would be very beneficial.
So I'm sorry to jump back in, but we have put it on the referendum in the past, and I think you get more voices when that's been done.
Okay, well, I can look into that. I've never known.
Opinion.
It's been my experience that the more questions you have on the ballot, the harder it is to pass a budget.
Yeah. All right, any other citizen comments from the virtual audience? How about the live audience? Citizen comments? Yes.
Donna Lynch, 212 Chase Road. I'm wondering on the question about questions on the referendum. I have a feeling that you probably should run it by the town attorney if you were to be able to do it, or so that it would be worded properly.
And it would, the problem that we're faced to tonight, Donna, is that it has to go in the legal notice, which
Yeah.
has to be drafted tonight.
Right.
And so that we can get it, because it's so late in the
I
game,
see.
we have to get it published
Mhm.
tomorrow. We have to
So
send it out
deadlines
to
have
press.
to be met, I
Yeah.
understand.
Exit
That kind of
polling is
leaves
probably a better.
A
way.
better at this juncture anyways.
Mhm.
So, but yes, I would have absolutely run it by the attorney.
Jeff Bolte, 1081 Riverside Drive. In regards to that, if it does happen to fail this time and we get exit polling out of it, is there a chance we could add it into the next vote? Just so we get a better, maybe, more answers to that?
Absolutely, but I believe it's gonna pass.
I would sure hope so, but we shall see.
Well, uniform will be returned. Jessica Bolte, 1081 Riverside Drive, a little off topic from the budget. I'll be coming to your next Board of Selectmen meeting. The girls are doing a feminine hygiene drive for the school called Go with the Flow. There's poverty, poverty awareness week. They'll be requesting to. It's necessary. They'll be to put a bin at the town hall is what they'll be requesting for. So just putting it out there now.
Love it.
Thanks for the heads up.
Yeah.
Great name.
Nicola Klingowski, 49 Mountain Hill Road. I guess my question is the process, right? There were a lot of questions tonight in the Board of Finance around the process. Between now, the referendum and the vote, is there a way to do an educational seminar for people? I know I talked to a couple of parents that didn't vote because they don't know how and they don't want to question how to. So, I walked one of them in and asked the woman sitting at the front if she could explain it to them. But like a mock setup in the town hall where someone can come in, not under pressure, not knowing, and see it. We have some people that are adults with autism where the anxiety of not having done it before and coming in with the sideboards and that view, right? If we could, even if we go at it via the special ed and have them help set up where those that have that would not feel that anxiety, where you can educate our public on what it means to vote, how to vote. And if it's a no that you vote, what happens next, right? Because I think people think if they say no, there's potential for a ton of things to change or what changes, or like my no just means it goes away, right? I don't think we have a verse community on what the process really looks like. And I think if we could help get people to understand and take some of the fear and anxiety out, we may get a better turnout for the votes.
Are you saying on election day?
No.
You're saying
I'm
prior
saying
to?
Prior.
Like if next week you set up in this room what it would look like on election day, right? And have a day of how to's, right? And it doesn't have to be a town rep, maybe it could be someone from like a nonpartisan person that's in here. I know like I volunteer her, but like Jean Auger, I can guarantee would probably, she would do that. Some of the VFW ladies, right, that have zero affiliation to the town hall would sit here and say, this is what it would be like. Nobody may show up, but at least we're making an effort for those parents that want to, but are nervous or don't, my kid wants to come with me, but I don't know what to do. What do I tell them? Like, that kind of stuff. So
Donna was gonna say something.
If I may respond.
Yeah,
to that.
absolutely.
So registers of voters are here. We have one for each party. They're really good about helping walk people through what to do. That's, I did three points. So that's the first point. The second point is, if you think someone is going to have a panic attack voting because they haven't voted before, and I get that. I'm 38-year special ed teacher, veteran here. I would suggest they vote absentee ballot. Just come in, it's much less stressful. You can just sit, you can take the paper, bring it to this room or some other room that's available and do it. And then the third thing is that if they were to get to the polls and they are really feeling stressed, we as poll workers can always do a vote from your car.
Curbside.
Yes, thank you.
Curbside voting,
That's right.
yeah.
That's right.
Because they've done that with handicap.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or
People.
somebody who's been injured.
Yep.
You know, we've had someone who came with a broken leg. and
But we
said-
don't even ask.
No.
No, well, and none, and I.
Curbside gives us an opportunity to go outside.
Yeah.
See,
Right, exactly. No, I know, but I would start with the registrars of voters because they're really good at walking you through. I mean, I don't even know, speak frankly, Gary, they're really good at walking you through either one of them. It doesn't matter what party they're registering you for. They're gonna just treat you equally. But I would just say do that, but the curbside voting is really, the only thing you need to know is that 2 people will come out to your car because one has to be from each party. That's how we ensure the, non-partisan aspect of things, but also just vote absentee, and then you can come in, you have like how much time you need, come in and just do it, as long as you do it.
You can even take it home.
Yeah, mail it back in, if you want to take it home, if that makes you feel better, there are a lot of options for doing that, but I think the place to start would be with the registrars of voters, only because they'll get you on the run. They know even perhaps more than.
But I like the idea.
here's something to expand on, because this is the first time we've heard that.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, I wonder if through the registrars, if they have an educational video that could be added to our website.
Oh,
You know, showing these are the machines, you're gonna get, we are going to, you know, and take them step by step through. And and they may
video.
have that. They may have that because they're teaching, you know, the staff how to do all of this and use it as a walkthrough. If not, you know, for the next vote, because this is gonna be hard. Maybe that could be a good school project with the video and movie making, that the media, that they could film something and we could put that up.
that would be great. Donna, were you gonna say
I was
something else?
going to ask you personal knowledge of.
With this group. Oh, wait, you know.
Student voting.
I can ask if I can share that with the person. I
Okay.
know, they get nervous, right? They've done a lot to combat it and not have others.
Well,
spew
because
it,
you
so-
also, you could write what's called a social story for that person.
Okay.
That would help explain the steps of what would be involved. That would be something, it just breaks it down. So
Mhm.
that read it, they can have it, they can take that home, read it and reread it and reread it. As many times as they needed to, and then it's almost like an instruction list of what to expect when you're in that situation. Also, so if we knew that that would happen, I could ask the registrar if we could put something like that together. I would have to.
There's a level of anxiety with first time voting and being an adult too.
Oh.
I mean, for us, like ours, you know, but not everybody,
Sounds
not
very
everybody.
anxious when it comes to voting.
Yeah. I mean, I love to see a first time voter. That's an, you know, because it's so much, you know, that's
We
a
usually cheer
a
for them.
milestone. That's, yeah.
We do cheer for them because we're so glad to see them, especially the 18-year-olds that have never voted.
Yes.
before. We always cheer for them, give them extra stickers. I mean, whatever. they sign. So, yeah, that could be handled.
You can check with Frank and I,
Yeah.
they may have some.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
I love the discussion, so thank you. Any other citizen comments in the Zoom
Valerie
audience?
Clark.
Oh, wait, we have Mr. Benoit.
Yes, I'd like to thank our wonderful finance director for getting the 2019 reimbursement in for Homeland Security grant. I talked to Darlene and she said he was fantastic, the easiest she's ever had. So he's great. Say American, don't.
Any other citizen comments here in the room? All right, Ms. Clark?
Yep, Valerie Clark, 105 Elm Road. I'll try to be very, very quick. I want to spin off of the question about education on the voting process. And I think that was a really good question. And I also think we need education on around people who own property in town but do not live here, who are eligible to vote, and what the process looks like for them, what they are and are not able to do, and how to actually obtain a absentee ballot in that case. And then just a little commentary on the assisting that the folks do at the polls. My mother, many of you knew her very, very well, very politically active, became virtually quadriplegic. And we were able to drive her to the poll 2 poll workers sat with me in her handicap van while I penciled in her votes, and she nodded affirmatively that I was selecting the correct numbers, correct items. And that was a really nice process, and it was good for her because she was still able to participate in a process that she cared very deeply about. And then the third thing is, if we're going to do exit polling, I will volunteer to be an exit poller, so please contact me.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, last call for citizen comments. Any citizen comments? All right, we'll move on to agenda item 7, the library roof bid award. We received a letter from Tara Pengesic, our Director of Planning and Development, requesting that we award the bid to Young Developers LLC of Hamden. It's the 3rd lowest bidder, but they were pre-qualified on the state list. One caveat to, if we move forward and make this motion, I would like to award so that we could at least notify. We are still waiting for the state's approval. So if we were to award the bid for the library roof to Young Developers, it would be contingent upon receiving final approval from the state, who told us today after a good week or so that they were backlogged.
Surprise, surprise.
Yeah, not surprising at all.
Well, they
So,
were asking questions. That's what killed me. They kept throwing questions.
Right.
And then they're like, no, we're too busy. for
that's
that."
why they're back. They're asking too many questions.
So questions regarding, is this a recommendation from, from your board as well?
It's.
Well,
through-
because the library community center is under the purview of the selectmen.
I've not taken this final bid project to the board. They meet Thursday. I would take this recommendation, which I've worked with Kira on. I've been looped in.
Okay, okay.
In terms of why this was selected, and I concurred with her assessment of the bids received.
Okay.
So with this and wanting to move it forward with the state folks, I was in favor of it being moved to tonight's meeting. And disappointed that the state people hit the brakes really hard on us today.
Well, they just said they wouldn't have time to review it in depth, and because they were backlogged, and
So with this letter of support, I would update the library board on Thursday that this is the action that is best suited for this project.
Okay.
Yes. And Brian Santos has been helping with this project, and he concurred. Of the 3 of us were on an email exchange.
So this is not a building project, a building committee project?
no.
It is not, it's
It's
a
not-
tangent of it, and not necessarily under their purview, no. Brian.
We didn't
Santos-
assign it to them. It was,
couldn't
it was a
remember. We've
simple,
assigned so
yeah,
much
it was
to
a
them.
simple roof project.
Yeah,
In the
Tara's
greater
been working
scheme
with
of
Brian.
things.
yeah.
Pretty straightforward, strip a roof, put a
Yeah.
new roof on. So that was why we never approached sending it to the building
Okay.
committee, because they had a lot of.
Because they
things
have a
their
lot
plate.
on their
They
plate.
have,
Yeah, no, I
a
get
full-
that.
A full dance card.
So.
Yep, they do.
So,
I'll make a motion to award based on the recommendation. The Young Developers LLC in the amount of $244 for both parts of the project as recommended.
and contingent upon the state
Yes,
approval,
uh,
and I would second that.
I mean, obviously, there's requirements when we're dealing with grants. As to qualifications and so forth that have to be taken into consideration, and obviously when we notify. You know, the bidders, that is all explained.
Right.
Absolutely.
Any thoughts, Suzanne?
No, I'm good with moving forward.
So with that, all in favor of approving the recommendation to award the bid to Young Developers pending state approval, say aye.
I,
Aye. Okay. We will let Kira know. I had instructed her to let Young Developers know that potentially, or today that, or tomorrow that, to let them know that they were potentially awarded pending state approval. So
I'm
at
sure
least
they
they could have it
understand.
on their radar and start planning us into their summer work schedule.
Perfect.
I just I hate the delay, because in this climate, people book up fast,
Yeah.
so.
I
All right.
appreciate the efforts and the timeliness that people have been moving it forward. So.
Yeah. Excited to get it done.
30 years.
Hey, we're being proactive.
That's right.
That's right.
Time to flip it.
Yeah.
And there is still the question out about the 80-20
Yeah.
question, because it came in so much lower than what we estimated. I don't think they're going to,
I'm not hanging my hat on it.
No.
Yeah, it would be nice.
yeah, it would be very nice.
Other things could get done with that, but.
It
we'll
could.
Cross that bridge when we have that answer.
All right, so moving on to agenda item 8, the codification ordinance. So just so there's no confusion, back, oh goodness gracious, a year or two ago, we had contracted with a company called General Code to look through all of our code of ordinances, compare them, the ordinances to the state statutes, help restructure. In basic layman's terms, recodification is an act or process of arranging something such as laws or rules, again, into a new or different system. And that is basically what General Code has done. This will also be published, and it will be a live document that is continually updated by General Code, cross-reference to state statutes. So what we need to do at this time is add it to the town meeting to get approval to move forward with this codification. And trying to get the language. Bill, do you have the language still? Roughly for. So a copy of any of the technical amendments will be available to the public. It's within the code adoption ordinance. So what we're really asking is for the public, we'll be asking for the public to approve the recodification and the technical amendments of the code of ordinances, and copies, like I said, would be available to the public. It's the next step in order to publish the code in the manner that General Code has constructed for us. Any questions? Or actually, I'll make a motion that we approve moving forward to town meeting with the codification ordinance, with the technical amendments.
Okay, second.
Okay, now we can have
And
discussion.
that will be, the town meeting is May 1st?
May 1st.
That will be on the May 1st agenda for, okay.
Yes,
It'll be approved that night.
it would be
Yes,
approved. It would be
doesn't have
approved
to
that.
go out on referendum.
Correct.
Yes, that I got. I just
Yeah.
wanted to,
I'm all in favor of, that's why we went with
right.
the
So it'll be
codification of it, to simplify it and be able to
Online.
follow it and
And-
all of that.
And over the years, it's been just constructed by laymen here at the town hall, and they've done a great job, but there's been some confusion. There's been some things that didn't line up with the state statutes the way they should. So it's really just the legal team at General Code really just cleaned.
And that's
things
who
up.
went
They
through and
cleaned it
cleaned
up.
these up
Yes.
and yeah, made
Yeah.
sure that it was, I knew that was what, when we talked about the, it's a website, right? The whole, yeah, that this was what they were, their intent was, and I think it's a great idea.
My only concern, putting it on the town meeting,
I know.
it's an awful lot of reading for people. You know, it's the ordinances, and they're gonna wonder what we're doing with this. Why are we doing it? And they're gonna go through and read it, go back to our ordinance and start comparing.
Mhm.
We're only talking, today's what, the 18th? There may be off a day here. But
Would you rather wait and have it come out? And I mean, I know that we are under a time constraint to complete this project that was begun.
that's my,
I get it, and I'm apprehensive about that as well, because there are people that will go through it and say that there's, because of what we went through with the open, with the what is the ordinance that we went through this with?
Open space.
Open space, thank you. Is there was concern that language was changed and it meant something different than what the intention was before, and that concerns me too.
yeah, we have that, and I remember when they did the P and Z regulations, how much people got involved in it and read. That's my main concern.
Mhm.
And that's the part. that
And
worries me.
that's. Yeah, but I think that we should move it forward.
Doesn't mean we can't have a town meeting next month. But I think,
So you would like to potentially publish this,
I think we,
put it out to the voters so they have time to absorb it.
yes,
I'm fine with that,
I think that's the right thing to
but
do.
we will just have to have another town meeting, that's all. Which we probably will have something
mean,
else
you
to
could
put on the
publish it
agenda anyway.
Very possible.
But if you. But it's a draft. You would have to put it as a draft.
Well, this is all the
Until it's approved
changes.
at town meeting. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course. Well,
If you publish it, it's a draft.
like,
Oh, right. Draft
Yeah.
code adoption ordinance,
Yeah.
Schedule A, this is the code adoption ordinance. This is Schedule A, which discusses the various word changes. I mean, it's really self-explanatory. I mean, it's like under
Yeah.
notice of referendum is amended to revise earlier in the 21st day to earlier than the 21st day.
And
So
I'm
they
looking at-
found little errors. It's really a lot
and
of
they
spelling
cleaned it up
errors.
and cleared it up and made
Yes.
it very.
well, not only that, but just have words flow properly in the sentence.
Right,
Yeah.
that's,
You
yeah,
know, and they
exactly.
cleaned up an awful lot of that,
Mhm.
which is great, but. I just feel if we don't get it out to the public, put it out there for review. Give them the final draft, give them this, give them the code of ordinances. And say, here it is. And there's nothing saying that we couldn't even just have a, you know, a general public meeting. If people wanted to come in and, you know, go over this. Because there's
Yeah.
gonna be a lot of questions.
Huh.
So would you both
Um,
be in favor, then are you both in favor of
Sure.
just delaying this and?
Sure.
Yeah, but to keep moving forward,
Oh,
to
of
make sure
course.
that we meet our timeframes
Right,
to get this done.
I don't recall what the time frame was.
Yeah,
But
if there is
A
a
month,
timeframe,
a
if
month
there-
or two isn't gonna
Yeah.
hurt it,
That's fine too. Yeah,
so,
I
yeah,
think
if
that's-
you wanna,
okay. So we will take no action on this item.
So
I
we
will
have a-
rescind
we
my
have a
motion.
okay.
I
I'll
will take
rescind
back my
second.
motion. And we will. I will get this published then.
Sure.
For review, and we'll put a notice out there and. We'll take it up in a month or two. Sure.
Yeah.
All right, now this next ordinance is the Aquatic Lake Ordinance. It's kind of. Let me just make sure I gave you guys the right one. Should I give you the newest one? Here's the newest one. Ken
Oh,
Slater.
The one you had said is
the one-
different than what was
It's
in.
different than what's in your packet. Oh, here's my second, my other
Yeah.
one. So Ken Slater had reviewed it. He had made a few revisions to it. I know I'm under the gun. I was waiting to get Ken Slater's review of it. It's taken a couple weeks to finally get his review. He had to speak with Deep to Tim Delgado, who originally structured it. The biggest things are the no wake zones,
Mhm.
the slow no wake zones, around Campaign Island and Gould Island. And then additionally, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and holidays, increased regulations on the lake, which would be no motorboat, which would be defined as any type of watercraft, including jet skis, could operate in excess of 45 miles per hour. They have to follow the counterclockwise pattern. Those were honestly the only two restrictions that we could put on the lake. With Deep. I've been working with an ad hoc committee of lake residents who helped draft this. And at this point, I was really hoping to move this so that we could get it in place before Memorial Day weekend.
And I get that.
Yeah, I mean, I just read it. He cleaned it up,
Yeah,
is basically what he did.
I gotta go get my power
Mhm.
cord. I'll be right back.
So it flows appropriately.
Oh, no, that one. That's not the right.
That's a round circle. Yeah, no, it's smaller than that, I think.
Yeah, hers is a tiny circle. Part of the, I think Amy, we need to move it forward, but,
This, yeah, I did,
but,
I just compared these
part of my
two,
concern with it is getting it out to the residents and the seasonal residents on Aquatic.
because they're coming in
'Cause-
anytime.
Yeah,
They've already started,
yeah,
I'm sure.
yeah.
The other thing that I'm wondering is, how do we enforce this?
I was waiting for Amy.
Well, unfortunately, we don't technically enforce that, not on the water. That is NCON that has to enforce it, and that's the law enforcement arm of DEEP. But NCON won't do anything
Without them.
without the ordinance. So, so they won't enforce, they will enforce the speed limit if we have an ordinance that has a speed limit. And the only other thing that I'm hoping is that with a resident trooper, although he can't go on the water, he or she, if we have a resident trooper, we can assign them the task of monitoring the park area. And just doing a drive-through during a shift on the weekend, just to show some type of presence.
That's,
But
that
that's
is
a
what
whole
I'm
nother thing.
really hopeful that that's
Yeah.
going to help to make a difference on that beach in that, boating area.
Right.
Even the speed, limits going up and down that road during the summer and on holidays.
Right.
I'm really hoping that the resident trooper gets passed and that they will be able to address some of that.
Right.
Yeah, and I would hope that
And then, yeah,
P and Z does something with this to regulate any vendors that are operating without the.
the illegal, yep.
Because that comes under that.
We certainly don't want to have another incident like we had last summer, because that was horrible.
Mhm.
That was absolutely horrible. So, yeah. I'll make a motion that now you need a motion to send this to
Town meeting.
Right.
Right.
The ordinance concerning activities on Aquatic Lake to town meeting. Ordinance concerning, is that what you're calling it? Is that what it?
Yes,
Or
because
the Aquatic Lake
technically,
ordinance?
the aquatic. lake
I'll make a
ordinance,
motion that
yeah.
that we forward the Aquatic Lake ordinance to town meeting on May.
And we're submitting the town attorneys,
With,
clean up,
the town attorneys, this one.
Okay, I'll second that. Any other discussion? Okay, all in favor of approving sending the ordinance concerning activities on Aquatic Lake to town meeting on May 1st, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. So the next is the legal notice, which I'm going to go grab from Marie.
Okay.
Because we had to make one other adjustment.
Well, it's not as late as I thought it was gonna be. I wasn't sure how long the Board of Finance meeting was gonna go on for.
timing was great because I had a Teague meeting at 5:30 that went till 7.
Oh, perfect.
Worked out well. And I got to hear their deliberations.
And you were on last night? I missed the Bruins game. Yeah.
I missed 2 other meetings, one when I was on vacation and one because I had to do something else that night.
Oh, the Board of, I missed 2
The
too.
Board of.
Yeah, I missed 2.
The Board of Finance,
When I had another meeting and then I do Thursday night bingo once a month, I work.
but I
for
had
Jackie.
sponsored a couple people at the Putnam Fishing game and I had to be there that night.
Yeah. Well, it's hard. I mean, we attend a lot of meetings.
Mhm.
It's hard to hit them all. So you gotta kind of balance. I'm out usually 4 nights a week.
There's
Bill
always
doesn't
something
mind.
going.
Bill doesn't mind.
So. Be nice if there wasn't any of these. But there is. Hey,
Only two,
That ain't bad.
not at all.
I think we can handle that.
I think so. I don't think that'll take long. Too bad we can't sign them in advance.
You're gonna vote them down?
Let's sign them. I know, just once I want to say no.
Ready to catch them the rest, Bill, or what?
I was waiting for you to be like, I'm going.
I was glad to see it go.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a long process.
It's a very long process. You still gotta get through the audit yet.
Yeah.
By the time you get this audit done, we start the next one. There won't be a break.
The draft financials actually came in this afternoon. So that's immediately at the top of my list.
When are they coming in physically?
They sent me, they emailed me the PDFs today. These are the drafts, not the final. So there's certain elements that we have to write, certain MD&A pieces. So that's next, but they had promised them today.
But usually they come in and they look at different accounts. And go through
Oh,
them
yeah.
at random.
They have already.
Okay.
Yep, the test work required. It's not there.
Got you each a copy, so you could read it over before we approve that.
That's the correct amount, right?
Yep, yeah, we double checked it with. Bill.
Okay, I'm just.
Do you think
Just,
we'll have enough room at the library?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah, I could do that.
Yeah, I think we will.
Okay.
Spacing or?
He was wondering about room at the library, but I think we'll
If
be
it-
fine.
Oh, well, room at the library.
You don't know how well something is going to be attended.
Right, I know, but I think we're gonna do good.
Yeah, the only thing is we'll have to adjourn to a
If we
different
have to
location.
adjourn, we have to adjourn. I'll get a backup. For it.
Is there any thoughts about extending the voting polling times? Due to the nature instead of 12 to 8.
I had not thought about that.
I know when we did that, the year that we had 5 referendums, we did do an 6 to 8 PM and it did not bring out more voters. It,
I mean,
it was a handful, if it was not for the amount of money it would, that it
Oh, I
costs.
know that our costs are going up on top of it for.
Yeah.
The amount of workers
Poll workers,
that are required,
right,
that cost has just gone up.
Right.
Then whatever, then we have to. You know. Really emphasize, the availability of absentee voting.
Mhm. Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely.
no, I'm just saying.
Yeah, we can
So
drill that
way,
home.
that this is all available.
so we have broke out, is that how we always do it?
What's up?
The capitals, you're looking at the capital.
Yeah.
That is for a grant that we receive from the state every year, and it's always put in there. It's for the LoSiP money for the roads.
Oh, all right,
We're
okay.
guaranteeing that. We just remembered it.
Yeah.
But no, that gets put in every year, because I was asking the same thing, and then it clicked that that is for the LoSiP money every year, and we're guaranteeing to the state that we're going to be doing X amount of dollars, and we're doing this much in roads, and we're gonna be receiving that grant money, so it has to be in this resolution.
So the only, the only thing that's going on the ballot, though, is the question, yes or no, for the budget
And the trooper.
and the trooper,
Yeah.
and
To-
is that
to
the
enter
wording
into
of the
contract.
trooper? Yeah,
Yes,
And of course, the adoption of the Portic Lake ordinance.
yes,
That's not on the ballot.
that's not on the ballot, no.
No, that's at the town meeting.
Yes,
town
yes,
meeting. So
yeah.
the three resolutions are on the town meeting.
Right, I'm just concerned that people are gonna be confused and not understand that the money is already in the budget, it's not in addition to.
But
That
we-
the town of Thompson enter into a contract for resident trooper
But
services.
this is what the Board of Finance has said.
This is what they
We
said.
make the final decision, I guess,
Yes.
but the truth is, I think it should be a question. I think it should be. I
No, I'm
think-
not questioning, I'm not saying.
Right,
that.
well, okay.
No,
I'm
'cause
questioning, are people gonna be concerned we're gonna add additional dollar amount? Or are they gonna, how are they gonna know it's already in the budget?
we ran into that problem when we went 4 times.
Yes,
I know.
They figured
exactly,
It was more money on top of, no, it's already in
right,
the budget.
so that's why, the,
Well, then we can, what I was going to ask during other business. Marie, do you have a copy of the advertisement
From.
that we talked about putting the stuff we hand out all the time?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I think we need to just make sure that the public is aware of what the vote is.
that is what we thought, and I can't remember what it was for.
But
Was it
we're
a
not.
roof? Was
moving
it
in
a,
the
it was
past.
something.
We're going to move forward. We can't just keep worrying about what happened in the past.
The gates, it was for the gates, do you know what I'm talking about? And there was,
Being able to separate ballots. if I remember
yes,
Well, I realize that, but
correctly.
That you can't do.
But, right.
that the town of Thompson into a contract. It's just too bad it couldn't say something to the effect for,
as included. in the
as
budget?
included in the,
What I was-
yeah, I was working on
How to
some sort of
word that.
language, yeah, as included.
All right,
As referenced in the,
I think it's gotta say
as
something to include it,
included in
the fiscal,
proposed budget.
the
Yeah.
proposed budget.
yeah, because even if it's in there
All right,
and
we
they
can
say
add that.
no, then
Then it stays in
then
there,
the money stays there.
yeah.
It does not get used.
Enter into a contract for resident trooper as included in the budget. Yeah, it's gotta have something like that, that signifies that it's in the budget in some way, shape or form.
Right. Okay, we can add that. Let me go check with Marie.
And that was the big
As-
issue is people
as-
thought,
As proposed in the,
In the budget.
yeah, some to that effect, as included in the proposed budget, something along those lines.
something along, yeah, because we don't, that was.
Because then they know that.
We need to learn
It's
from our
not
mistakes.
additional money.
Exactly.
They're asking for
It's
the permission,
included, not additional. So included is the word, I think.
could be, but
Thoughts?
it's,
Included? Thank
it
you.
may be the right word. Included in the proposed
Sending the
budget,
man of wisdom.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
but they're saying whether or not we can enter into it, because if they say no, then
It does. And if you have somebody who's coming in with anxiety, who's never, not either they, anxiety is on a real thing right now. I mean, it's like a real high. People are experiencing anxiety from everything we've been through. And then to come in and try to read this, if anxiety creates confusion. So no, oh God, no, I don't want that kind of thing. We've heard so much support for the resident trooper. I can't imagine people are going to vote no, because that is the one thing for the last couple of years people have talked about, but I know I'm the one who's gonna have to, I'm gonna be supporting this guy. You're gonna see me.
Less than a mile. my house.
The other word, you could, instead of saying included as funded in the proposed budget, that might be another one.
Oh. Yeah, that, well,
Just a different wording of it.
as per the line item,
Because there's no additional funding. It's there. It's not another exorbitant amount of money.
and that's what I want to be, made clear is it's not. It's included in that dollar amount. That's the dollar amount. That's it. Yeah, as included. That's all it needs.
in the proposed budget.
Yeah.
Because I remember that 4 votes that we did that year.
Oh, I remember it well.
Well, the state didn't help
Were
us
you
any by not
selectman
having,
at the
but
time? And I was sitting on the Board of Finance and it kept coming.
it's because we didn't have a state budget. They didn't give us one till what?
That's what that was huge.
Yeah.
We didn't know what we were working with. That's right. Oh, I forgot about that.
Was the driver.
That was awful. It was August or September? September?
It was a couple weeks after they finally did a budget that we had put ours in. And it was what, November? It was late.
Was it November? We voted
October,
November and
it was
yeah,
late.
it was late. Oh, poor Rainy.
It was 4 rounds that we won. And it was because of the state not having a
Yeah,
budget.
that's what it was.
And the Board of Finance said, let's send it out. People wanted to know what the funding was. So that in effect.
I mean, what were we had to send it out, We had to vote on a budget.
Well, we were dealing with they had to continue the existing
Do you remember
budget.
we had to vote, the Board of Finance had to vote to approve the existing budget
to
for a
continue it,
continuance of
Yeah.
the existing budget for, it was for 6
So we could
months,
pay our bills
so that we could pay our bills,
Yep.
and tax bills could go out, but then had to be amended,
if things, yeah.
depending on the increase or decrease or whatever it
Yeah,
ended
it
up,
was a rough time.
that was a mess.
And all the towns were scrambling because they
It
didn't
wasn't
have
just
budget.
us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, because we had. Oh, God. Attorney was involved, it was it was just a mess.
might have been my last year on the Board of Finance. I'm getting tired.
Well, it ended after what, 10 o'clock last night, I believe.
I got home, it was like 11:15. I hadn't eaten. I had to grab something, see if that wording has. Yeah,
That works.
that works. Yep. As included in that's just what we said, as included in the proposed budget. Yeah,
All right. Did we make a motion yet?
Did we make a motion?
I don't think we did.
No.
No, we had it to read so we could vote.
Yeah. Right.
So,
So I make a motion that we adopt the legal notice as presented and send it off for publication. I don't have to read it all, right?
Yeah, you're sending it off to, no, you don't have to read it all. So what did you just say?
I'm sending it to publication in the local newspaper.
You're sending it off to town
Approving,
meeting.
approving the legal notice, sending it off for publication to go to town meeting. It's the
Right.
legal notice.
Yeah.
yeah, these are the numbers that the Board of Finance gave us.
Right. As
And-
presented to the board. Got that, Dottie? Been a long day. I make that motion.
Okay.
Second,
Any other discussion on the legal notice as presented?
but yeah, just to go over the town meeting will be May 1st, notice of referendum will be the 15th.
Yep.
Of May. With polling times from 12 to 8 at the local polling places.
What's the date of the referendum?
May 15th?
Sorry, I can give you a copy of the legal notice.
So,
All right.
Okay, all in favor of approving this legal notice for publication as presented, say aye.
I
We can all sign, nobody's sign all three, I don't know.
sign all three.
Why not?
Remember, I took them all 1 year.
Yeah.
they're going to Marie.
Hopefully not, don't find the old one that we changed.
No,
Oh, no,
no,
that-
we got rid of all of those. Thank you.
So that one gets the biggest line through it. This is,
Oh, here, Ken, do this with me. Why not? Just in case we lose them.
did you do 3? Oh, this.
Yeah.
I've done 3.
Yeah. Sorry, long last name.
Yeah. Oh, can I have your pen?
Oh,
Sorry,
sure.
bring one in.
No, no worries. I got another.
Yeah,
That will be in the Norwich Bulletin, correct?
correct.
Yes. Mr. Warner had a question in the chat that just popped up.
Oh, thank you. Yes, it'll be in the Norwich Bulletin. Thank you for picking that up. Thanks, Marie, for saying, get that down. I appreciate it. All right. Other business. Other business to bring before the board, I think I'll probably wait.
Sounds like a good plan.
I think May 2nd, though, at our next meeting, I want to just discuss what we can put out to the public. We'll have, Marie and I will put together, we always hand out the transfer station notifying people of the vote. I just want you both to look
Yeah,
at
I-
whatever this was last
So you
year's.
can add that to other business, because we should. Do you want to make a motion to add it to other business?
Sure, I'll make the motion to discuss the flyer that we might hand out and what
Yeah,
at the transfer
Publication
station. Make a
and-
motion
and-
that we have a discussion about. the
yeah,
publication.
second.
Okay, motion in a second. Any discussion?
The only, yeah, you got a second?
Yeah, we got a second. All in favor?
Yeah, aye.
Aye.
We got discussion.
Well, we had to add it to other business first.
Oh, yeah, put it in.
Okay.
Aye.
It has been a long. couple
I'm ahead of
days.
this a little bit.
So this was last year's, and that's not what I'm saying I want for this year. It's just, it's a matter of, I would like to just give the basic facts, but in particular, try to get the facts straight about the resident trooper. But that's my opinion. But this was last year's.
I have no problem handing this out at the transfer station. The ones that I have sent out in the past would say, there's a town meeting on such and such a day. You know, whatever is coming up.
And that's what we did at the most recent
Right.
referendum.
And we don't, where it gets into and I would want that. Just to make sure that you're not trying to influence the vote.
Yep.
You know, by putting numbers in or whatever, that it may not be appropriate.
And
Just to make sure.
oh, right, in regard to this one, the town attorney did review it and said it was non-biased from last year.
But it's an avenue. We know how many people go through the transfer station. We can put them at the library. We can put them here.
It's our job to get the word out that there's. a
We
vote.
use every avenue that we
Yes.
can to get the word out that there is the town meeting and the referendum.
Yes, and this has been done for years and years, long
Yeah.
before
I mean,
we've been.
even if we do advertisements in the Shopper's Guide,
Mhm.
even the Villager as well. Just exhaust everything so that way the people,
It'll go on the town website.
you know,
It'll
whatever,
go on the social media, the Facebook, and
you know, any like Winnie Facebook post, whatever. That we can put any of this stuff on.
So as long as we get whatever Marie, because Marie's very creative with this type of stuff, as long as we get approval from the town attorney.
Yeah,
We'll
we don't
send
want
it
to,
to
we
you
don't want to be
guys.
biased on a vote.
Right,
No.
yeah.
but I do want people to know that or be aware that the resident trooper is in the budget.
Well, that
So
was,
it
that's
should
the
be
only
budget
reason
to
I brought this
include-
up specifically,
Yeah,
because
it-
it was kind of off my radar for tonight, because I knew we had a heavy load the last couple nights.
But this should be approved and out as soon
But
as.
the only reason I'm asking about the resident trooper question and making sure people know is because you guys both were concerned about that.
Yeah,
And I
Yeah,
wouldn't have thought,
We can
much
never
of
get
that.
enough word out.
right,
right.
okay. All right. I just wanted your thoughts, so.
Yeah.
Thanks for adding it to other business. At this time, if there's no other discussion about this, we will move on to citizen comments. In the virtual audience, Valerie Clark.
Valerie Clark, 105 Elm Road. So 3 Board of Selectmen meetings in a row. The town calendar is still not up to date.
Okay. I've reached out. I'll reach out again. Renee's gone for a couple weeks, so. Thank you for letting us know.
You're welcome.
What was missing? Because I know the next month wasn't filled in, but was there something missing for this month? Again?
Conservation Commission last night was not on.
Oh, it wasn't. Okay,
No, and there are other, I believe, and I don't quote me right now because I don't have the calendar in front of me, but the last I looked, I thought that there were missing special meetings of planning and zoning.
I mean, the only thing that we should be making changes on the town calendar is the special meetings
Right.
that aren't in our
but
yearly.
apparently if conservation wasn't on, that means something hasn't got, and I knew that I knew that June wasn't plugged in. I thought May was plugged in. And that was something that I had addressed, so I will follow up with that.
But we have tentative meetings that we do by December.
Right,
And those should
automatically be
go
put
on,
on, correct,
That's
and they shouldn't be missed,
correct.
except for the special meetings
reoccurring meetings should be,
automatically on there, except for like Monday and Tuesday. you know,
right,
yeah,
right, special
Because of
board.
P and,
Board of
you know,
Finance
five
or
board
something.
finance.
Right, gotcha.
And there was another meeting, I can't tell you which one it was, but it got moved off of its regular date. It's usually like the 3rd day of the month, 3rd week of the month, and this time it was the 2nd week of the month, and there was no notification on it.
Okay. All right. I will get to work on that again. Thank you. I appreciate it. I really do. Any other citizen comments? From the virtual audience? From the in-person audience?
Nicola Kuznowski, 49 Mountain Hill Road. You just make sure that that flyer gets to Melinda to go out to the school distribution that she does with all the community members, please.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
Just so we can-
Yep.
Thank you.
you're welcome. Any other citizen comments in the in-person audience? All right, we'll move on to tax refunds, agenda item 13. Make a motion that we refund Henry P. Johnson III, $3.27, and Joshua A. Lewis, $22.65, for a total of $25.92 in tax refunds.
You got it?
Second,
Any discussion on these refunds? All in favor of the refunds as presented, say aye.
I,
Aye. Motion,
to adjourn.
Ken has the motion to adjourn.
second, oh,
Suzanne has the second. All in favor of adjournment?
I.
Aye.
Aye.
And this board is adjourned. It is 8:53 PM. Thank you, everybody. Have a great night.
Thank you.